The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Why is this not playing? I was going to play a really nice little song. Why is this not playing? Why won't you play? Why is this not playing? Is the computer plugged in? It should be... How are you going to play? Are you going to play... What's going on with that? It played just a second ago. It'd be worth it. Hang on, it'd be worth it. It was a nice little relaxed intro to the show sounds. You should be working there. Headphones, yes. What is going on? There we go. Here we go. Let's try again. This is a nice. Here we go. Here we go.
I had not taken acid for 12 years, but one night last summer I did. I was adrift in a barroom, acting like a jerk and a kid. I knew we were asking for trouble. Trouble was what we would get. 5 of us dropped in the girls' room, psychedelicized insane quintet. Well, that bathroom got crowded in no time. Our minds were all blown in one flash. Everyone in there got ugly. We exited out of there fast. Back in the bar, we were happy, feeling great, no problem. Back in the bar, we were fine. Till Johnny turned into a Nazi. And Mary threw up all her wine. Well, in no time we all were ejected. Soon we were out on the street. The sidewalk began to perspire. We had glass and dog shit at our feet. We went over to Mary's apartment. Come on! To listen to the Grateful Dead. On the way there, we lost Johnny. He had opted for Bellevue instead. Well, I'm really glad we did this. This feels great, man. It's just like the old days. I love this. I know my hair's on fire. It's like incense or something. You know, your face is melting. It is. It's all the colors of the rainbow. Hey, you want to hold some fruit? Come on. Hold some fruit. It breathes. It really does. Have a cantaloupe. Come on. No, I don't know where the Donovan tape is. Well, I had to get out of that city. Bobby was bringing me down. Me and my darling young Susie. Sit so long, drove out of town. Driving on acid is easy. Driving on acid's a breeze. Just keep the car on the highway. Don't laugh and don't fart and don't sneeze. Well, we got to my house in the country. The country, man. The trees were all throbbing and green. Susie was sure she had cancer. I was sure I was James Dean. We went down to the lake to go swimming. Come on, let's try that. said water cures cancer. I asked her to please call me Jim. This acid is usually dangerous. The mild-mannered can quickly turn mean. LSD can surely derange us. Unless you possess Thorazine. So next time you want to go out there, when you feel like fading your head, think twice before dropping acid. Hold out for mushrooms instead.
Here's the thing I have to do, and I feel weird doing it. You know, I have to say we don't condone the use of drugs, but I have used drugs in the past, and I spent way too much money on drugs in my life, and looking back, it's mostly been a waste of money. I can say that quite confidently. It's mostly been a waste of money. I have to say, though, the handful of times I took LSD, it was something completely unique. It was, and this isn't me saying, "Hey guys, go out there and doing it." This is just me speaking honestly about my experiences. I think I did LSD 5 times, I want to say, and it's the only drug I can look back and go, well, do you know what? I'm glad actually I did that. I'm glad I experienced that. I'm glad that I went through that because it changed something in my head, and I think it might change it for better. Again, I'm not saying go out and do drugs. I really wouldn't recommend you go and do drugs. People make their own choices. But you were saying an interesting thing about Simon Amstel and that drug they take in the Amazonian rainforest.
Yeah, what is that? Let me look it up.
Wahuka or something.
Something Waska.
I was asked years ago to go and do a TV series where I went to. This it's kind of like peyote. It's this natural. I think it's a sap from a tree, and these native Amazonians drink it, and it's kind of like a rebirthing experience, and it's spiritual, and you throw up violently, and then you have a trip.
Ayahuasca is called, and you go and it's under the supervision of the local shaman, and you go through various. It's kind of one of those. Rituals that young men go through, a sort of dream world ritual that a lot of sort of South American tribes and North American tribes used to go through as a sort of rite of passage. And he was talking about it on the Adam Buxton podcast, the new one that was out today. And I found it really interesting. He said that he'd gone, as had a lot of people from sort of European countries on this trip.
Yes.
As a treatment for depression. He said a lot of people that went there were depressed and they felt that they were called to try this out. And for him, you know, he says it hit some sort of reset with him and he felt a hell of a lot better afterwards.
And there has been a couple of stories. There was one about 8 months ago, and then it happened again. Another, I don't know if it's the same story kind of being repeated in a cyclical fashion as they often are, if it was new research. But they were on the BBC website. It was trusted news sources and other sources saying that scientists believe that for some forms of depression, magic mushrooms, as we know them, I never know how you pronounce it, psilocybin, is that how you say it, can help depression for certainly for a few months, in some cases longer, by kind of resetting. Now, I don't know whether it helps you. I have a friend who before this research came out, told me that she had taken mushrooms and she felt better after it. And I don't know whether you work through issues when you are in the psychedelic state. And the difference between LSD and mushrooms grow. It is completely natural in this thing that they take in the jungle. It is completely natural. It grows. It is there. Whereas LSD is a synthesized drug that is manufactured in laboratories, if you're lucky. Although it's generally some bloke doing in the kitchen, which is, you know, why it's particularly dangerous.
It has to be said, though, this ayahuasca stuff is not without risk, and there have been ayahuasca-related deaths ever since these retreats have started. So you have a really, really violent reaction to it.
Oh, you puke up immediately because it's poison. You're putting a poison in your body.
But Simon Amstel said it unlocked something.
Yeah, and here's the thing, right? we can talk openly about this, and I'll do the thing again. I'm not in any way. If you've got young ears, we're going to have a frank discussion. It turns out, there is this kind of, and I'm not encouraging anyone to take drugs. I'm sharing my experiences. Most of my experiences on drugs were thoroughly rotten. Okay. But there is this thing where we have to pretend that people don't take drugs. There'll be people listening to this on acid now, tripping. Hey, man, how's it going? How's it going, man? Mm-hmm. It is... you see the world in a different way. Now, I could tell you about the quasi-religious experience I had where I saw a word written on a hill and it was an unspoken word that cannot be pronounced by mankind, but it is the word that unifies us. Now, that sounds like bollocks, and it probably is. But at the time, it was the most intense religious experience I've ever had. I felt I was closer to God, whatever that is, than I've ever felt in my life. I felt that God was a living... breathing presence that connected the whole universe, that we are all... There's a brilliant... it's really hard to explain what it's like when you're sick or when you're high or when you're tripping or when you're asleep or when you're giving birth. It's difficult to describe these experiences. That song, I think, describes, by Loudon Wainwright, describes kind of the funny side of taking LSD. And it's funny. There's also a brilliant... bit from what's his name? Bill Hicks, the American comedian, where he is describing being on LSD. Let me wonder if I can find it. I don't know why we're going down this rabbit hole, but we are going down this rabbit hole. Jonathan and Gavin, stay there. I will come to you in a bit. This just seems to be Bill Hicks, LSD. I wonder if this is it. Hang on a second. I mean, there might be swears, so I'll just hover. No, why is this not playing now? There we go.
All my point is there's a lot of ways to look at the world. You know what I'm saying? Why pick the way you learn over TV? Because it's usually wrong.
Here we go.
You ever see a good drug story on the news?
Here we go. This is it. Okay. I mean, he may swear, so if there's a heavy swear, I'll drop it and go. But he's about to describe... he's doing a skit on how you never hear good drug stories. You only ever hear bad drug stories on the news. So he's saying, well, imagine if you heard a good drug story, and then he goes and talks about the universe being connected by one consciousness, and that few little phrases that he says here, I've not heard this for years, but they describe exactly what it felt like for me when I'd taken this drug. So let's have a listen to this. Let's go back a bit. And
why pick the way you learn over TV? Because it's usually wrong. You ever see a good drug story on the news? Never. News is supposed to be objective, isn't it? It's supposed to be the news. But every drug story is...
there we go. There we go. Right, hang on a minute.
Let's hear the whole story.
Hang on a second. We'll wait till the delay builds up.
Yeah, because we can't trust the second delay. As we
Let us know when our delays build up. You'll give me the thumbs up when it's up there. That was an F-bomb, guys. It's Bill Hicks. We'll see. If we get one more F-bomb, we'll leave it. But I just think what he says is very pertinent. And this is quite a psychedelic conversation that we're having, for those of you in the know, because I don't really remember why we started this conversation. And that's another thing of that drug, is you find yourself having a conversation and constantly having to work back to find out how you got there. Of course, amazing pieces of art have been done under the influence of hallucinogens. And I'm talking specifically about psychedelics and hallucinogens, not marijuana, not ecstasy, not cocaine. Geez, the most boring music. Apart from Rumours, I think that's the only good album made on cocaine. Most of it is boring because you think everything you do is brilliant.
It possibly might have been better without the cocaine.
No, well, I don't know. I don't know. But Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band and Revolver, for me, they are the psychedelic... They are the psychedelic records, and it does, you see things, you literally see the world in a different way. I remember saying to my friend, what will it be like? He said, you're going to notice patterns that you've never noticed before. I'm like, whoa. And it's true. It's so hard to explain, but there are patterns everywhere. And you just notice the patterns of the lines going down the It's hard to explain. Let's give Bill Hicks one more try, and if there's another F-bomb, we'll move on.
Same LSD story every time, and we've all heard it. Young man on acid thought he could fly, jumped out of a building. What a tragedy.
Here we go.
What a dick.
Well, yes.
He thought he could fly. Why didn't he take off the ground and check it out first? You don't see ducks lined up to catch elevators to fly south. He's an idiot. He's dead.
Okay, there we go. It's a
Thanks,
shame.
Bill. I'll do.
Thanks, Bill. But basically, he then goes on to this beautiful thing about the person who took LSD and realised that we are all one collective consciousness and we are a tiny rock that's floating around in the universe. And that we are all intertwined and we can all have impacts on each other, both positive and negative, and that if we all just took a step back and looked at our own families and realised that we love them with a love and a passion beyond anything that we could ever possibly dream of, and then we applied that to the people around us, wouldn't the world be a great place? And that's kind of it, you know, that's why there was a lot of peace and love and hippies in the 60s, because that particular drug, which wasn't illegal, until quite late in the 60s, I think. It makes you just kind of you just see the illogic of war and the illogic of hatred. It's this very strange thing. I've got absolutely no idea why we're talking about this, and that in itself is kind of a psychedelic thing, you know. I mean, I've also puked up a lot on acid as well. I can't say that, you know. But for me, I remember listening to Revolver at a kitchen table with a candle burning. Eleanor Rigby came on, and I was looking at the table just because I was looking at the way the shadows flickered about. And then from out of the shadows, around the back of the candle, came the Beatles, dressed in tuxedos, with violins and cellos, and they sat down, they played for me. And at the end of the song, I went, "That's stupid, you're not really there." They stood up, they bowed, and they walked off. That for me was fun. What am I saying? I'm saying, whether I say don't take drugs or do take drugs, no one's going to take drugs because I've told you to take drugs, and no one's not going to take drugs because I say don't take drugs. You're going to do what you want to do, okay? I have to say to fall within the realms of Ofcom. I'm just sharing my experiences, and once again, most of my drug experiences, looking back, have been an absolute waste of money. And have left me feeling miserable and have probably caused some damage. I think those 4 or 5 experiences I had actually unlocked some potential within me that was otherwise lying dormant. You will make your own decisions as to what you do. All I will say is play safe. If you're taking something as huge as that, you know, it's kind of cool to let someone know that that's what you're doing. You know, if you're or do it with someone who's done it before. If you insist on doing it, it's always cool just to say to someone, "I think I might be, I might need to give you a call a bit later on and just check in." That's always fine to do. And here's the thing about drugs, right? Actually, we'll get somewhere in a minute. We never talk about sensible ways, sensible drug use. Very rarely. Do you remember there was a big furore sort of in the 90s when some clubs where people were taking ecstasy? Yeah. They were charging for bottles of water, right? Now, when you take ecstasy, you dance a lot, you move a lot, you sweat a lot, your body heats up, man, and particularly if you're in a tiny enclosed room. And it is kind of, you kind of need to drink a lot of water, otherwise you dehydrate, and that's where a lot of the injuries around ecstasy arose from. And so clubs, there was a big furore because clubs were charging, or one club wanted to give water away, and the government was saying, well, you can't give water away, that's encouraging drug use. And young people are going to take drugs. There is a really strong chance that my kids at some point are going to take drugs. And I'm aware of that, and it fills me with fear, and it fills me with dread, and I wish they wouldn't, but then I think, well, I did. So it's kind of hypocritical for me, you know, and I hope that when they are old enough that I'll be able to have a conversation with them and say, well, I took this drug and this is what I found. But young people and older people take drugs, and we never have a conversation of what can we do to make the drug experience more pleasurable, because that's why a lot of people take drugs, but also safer. And I think a lot of the injuries and the deaths around drugs are because we don't discuss the safe way.
Well, also the secrecy of it.
Yeah. There's secrecy of it, and there's shame in it because it's illegal, of course. But we don't talk about the safe There are things you can do when using drugs to make things a little bit safer. You know, like making sure you've got some clean water near you, like making sure you've got some fruit or something in case you get hungry and you don't go and cook something and blow the house up. This is a slightly extreme example, but I just think that as well as, you know, the whole just say no thing. Don't work, doesn't make sense.
Didn't work with those kids, did it?
No. Of course not. Well, one of them famously was snorting cocaine off the cover of that. I won't say which one. But the just say no thing, it doesn't work. Hello. It doesn't work. So what we need to do is say, OK, well, here are the side effects of these drugs. Here are the worst case scenarios. And here's what you can do to try and avoid those worst case scenarios. I don't know. It's just a thought. No idea where that came from, but boy, oh boy, I'm glad we got there. 0344 499 1000. You can Skype a late night alternative. You can listen on DAB, download the Talk Radio app, or go online to talkradio.co.uk.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. This is the Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio with time to change. Let's go to Gavin. Good evening, Gavin.
Hello, Iain. How you doing?
I've got a blinding headache, if I'm honest, Gavin, and I don't think I've got any more pills left. But I'm all right. Go on.
I'll take some LSD. I fell off the wagon today, man.
What happened?
Nothing. I went out, I was supposed to go for lunch, and instead I went to the off-licence and bought some cans and sat in a park and read a book.
And how did that go for you?
I feel crystallised now. I feel like an idiot. And I also feel warm, and I feel like all the old memories are coming back.
You're going to have to. That what you've just said means a lot to you, but doesn't mean a lot to me. So can you try and go into a bit more detail, Gav? Because I can't work out if what you've just said is it's good or it's bad.
Okay. I feel warm, and I feel like when you. It's a constant leap through positive and negative at the moment. Like literally in split seconds, my mood's going up and down really, really quickly.
Yeah.
It's like a panic attack, but within seconds it becomes the most mellow boat ride. But I feel like an idiot just for letting myself down, you know. But if there was more alcohol here, I'd happily keep on drinking.
Yeah, of course. You've split the seal now. You've opened the seal.
Yeah, man.
The seal.
I kind of like it, but I shouldn't have done it, you know?
Well,
and I don't really know how... Because I went into a hospital to be treated for heavy drug and alcohol usage. I went to the Free in Hampstead.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not really sure because of the medication I'm on when I came out, but I've been absolutely clean for ages. I've been clean of, like... naughty fun drugs for 15 years.
Yeah.
And, I don't know how I've been off the booze because of these meds. And I've never had, I don't know, I've had cravings. And I've always managed to, like, beat them down.
Why do you want to stop drinking?
Because my liver and my kidneys failed and I went all yellow.
Because of your drinking?
Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it? It's funny that even though it's killing you, you can't stop. We're nuts as a species.
I don't know, because it's either 16 weeks or 18 weeks.
But you couldn't stay
really
stopped. You couldn't stay stopped. Stopping's easy. Staying stopped is the hard bit.
Yeah, stopping, you're quite right, because they put you on these pills that reduce the shakes and the anxiety and stuff. And it just came out of nowhere. I was supposed, like I said, I was supposed to go to lunch. And I just blew all them, because I'm not trusted with money at the moment.
Yeah, I'm just having some pills. While you're talking, I'm just having some aspirin. You carry on, I'm listening.
Yeah, I've never got any cash in my pocket, so I don't go out and drink. Everything I need is sort of, like, provided for me. But I had some cash in my pocket to go out for this lunch, which I didn't attend, and I just, went to the sauce shop, man, and I've never even felt like that before. I don't know how I ended up there. And I feel really guilty, but I feel really, like, sharp and on it again, you know? It's weird.
Oh, yeah, you're back in the room. You're back in the room.
The room's good, but I'm...
Yeah, the room is shining and sparkling, isn't it? How much have you had to drink?
6 cans and half a bottle of vodka.
Yeah, so you got a nice little buzz going.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, exactly. No, I get it.
There's the little guilt elf that's up my back.
Well,
so I've let everybody down. I mean,
no, here you go. No, you haven't let anybody down. You've let yourself down. If your intention was to stop drinking because you want to stay alive, well, then you've let yourself down. We've not let anyone else down.
No, the thing is that makes it even worse is when I came home, I got frisked at the door because I've been suspected of having a snidey drink, but I haven't before. And the one time I have, I walked clean through the door and didn't get frisked.
Isn't it funny how it works out like that sometimes?
Yeah, the thing is, I don't know, I feel so clean and sharp. You know, in the film The Hustle with Paul Newman, where he feels fast and loose at the pool table?
No, I don't know that.
Okay, well, I feel fast and loose and, like, ready for any fate that's bestowed upon me. But I know tomorrow I'm not going to have any more money and no more alcohol, and I've just...
It doesn't sound like to me you want to stop drinking. You don't want to stop drinking?
Well, I've stopped it for the amount of time that it's either 16 or 18 or longer weeks, so...
You don't want to stay stopped?
That was my intention. I've been drinking water and protein drinks till they're coming out of my ears.
So why are you telling me?
Because there's nobody else I can tell.
Right, well then, so who you said you'd let people down. Who have you let down then? Nobody?
Fundamentally, I suppose it's a guilt thing because nobody else knows except you and I at the moment, and that's the God's honest truth here. I've got no one to talk to that I can tell that I've, like, messed up.
You got no friends?
No.
Do you go to AA?
I've been offered it, but because I've been able to deal with it so far,
but you haven't been able to deal with it.
Well, I have.
No, you haven't.
Well, I fought every
you thought
compulsion
you haven't fought every compulsion to drink.
Well, apart from today.
Yeah, the one that the one that got you. So you haven't. You obviously you hadn't sorted it. You hadn't fought every compulsion to drink. And deep down, you knew you were going to have a drink. You knew at some point you were going to have a drink.
Yeah, I thought that'd be a long time away.
But you knew. But you'd already got a list of a list of things that if this happened, I'm going to treat myself to a drink.
No, the way I'd put it is, if I can survive X amount of weeks, then at the end of that I'll have a drink. Is that the same thing?
Yeah. Yeah, there's all different kinds. For me, it was like, right, if my mum dies, I'll have a drink. If I make it to 3 months, I'll have a drink. If I have to sell my flat, because I nearly did because I was skint, I'll have a drink. I had all these different ifs, and I've still kind of got a few in the back of my head now, you know.
Right.
Here's a perverse thing, right? When you're an alcoholic or a drug addict, your mind goes to really weird places. Really dark places. So I'm going to say something that's really unpleasant. But this is where my sick mind takes me. 13 years clean. If one of my kids dies, I'm going to have a drink. Imagine that. Imagine thinking that.
Would you snort a line, though, as well?
Yeah, probably. Oh, God, yeah. But I wouldn't, because in my head I'm just going to... If one of my kids dies, I'm just going to have a drink.
But nothing bad's happened to me, and I've done it.
Okay. You need... What you need to do is you need to learn to listen a bit more.
Okay.
Because you're not listening to anything I'm saying, and that's fine, because you're pissed, so I don't expect you to.
I'm not pissed at all. I'm just
you are.
confused.
No, you're drunk.
Ian, I promise you, I'm not drunk, man.
Gavin, you've had 6 cans and half a bottle of vodka. You're drunk.
I don't feel it.
Well, no, you don't feel it, but you're drunk. You haven't drunk for 4 months, and you've had half a bottle of vodka and 6 cans.
Yeah.
That glow that you're feeling, that air of precision that you have about you is false. That is your body lying to you. You're drunk.
Thanks, Ian. No, really, I mean that. Thank you. That's kind of deep inside of me is saying you speak truths, and I'm grateful for that because I've got nobody else to talk to, so I don't know.
I couldn't do it on my own. I found AA and NA very, very helpful. And you can go and sit in the back of a room and you can be pissed if you want, and no one there judges you. So the only suggestion I can make.
Did you do it? Did you actually attend a meeting drunk?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because the problem is the secrecy. Nobody knows, and tomorrow I won't have any money in my pocket. I won't be able to do it again. And
well, then you might as well go to a meeting. Where are you, Bishop Stortford?
Well, Stansted, yeah.
Stansted. All right. AA meetings. Stansted. Let's have a look. That's my Oliver Hardy impression. Stansted.
I can see you twiddling something, yeah.
What day is it tomorrow? Saturday. There we go. We'll just have a look. Okay. There is one. I don't know where that was.
Yeah, I'm on the phone, man. Okay.
Yeah, get out. We're on the phone. Yeah, it's stuffed. Right. There is. Here you go. Look, you can do one tomorrow morning and one tomorrow evening. How about that?
What location? Can you tell me?
I can tell you what location. Yes. Bishop Stortford at the United Reformed Church in Water Lane.
Yeah, I know exactly where it is.
That's at 10:30 in the morning. You got to go up the side stairs.
If you'll pardon the expression.
There we go. So that's at 10:30, and then there is no, the website is never particularly good. Oh, I've got to type it in again. Hang on a second.
No, 10:30 is fine at the church. Yeah, I'll
and then there's one tomorrow at 5 in the evening at Sawbridgeworth Parish Hall.
No, that's not so glamorous. Yeah, the 10:30 one I can certainly attend.
Well, why can't you do the 5 o'clock one?
Because I've got my niece and nephews coming over for fireworks.
What time are they coming over?
4.
Well, it's up to you. I would suggest.
I'll go for.
Well, I would suggest though that the way you're going, you're going to be dead by next year. So, so hang on, is that your brother or your sister's kids?
My brother.
And how do you get on with him?
I'm in the uncomfortable position of, you're supposed to love your nieces and nephews and everything and all your family, and you're supposed to feel something or I'd take a bullet for this and that. I'm sort of ambivalent as to what they do. They're nice and all that, but I don't feel any connection with them really.
Well, then, why don't you phone up your brother or your sister, whoever it is, and say, do you know what, I'm really struggling at the moment, I can't stop drinking.
I really can't.
Why? I don't care why, because you're making up excuses, and that's fine.
I'm not. I can tell you exactly the reason why.
Well, I don't want to know why. I don't want to know, because I realise I'm talking to a drunk man, and it's frustrating.
I'm sorry.
No, you don't got nothing to apologise for. You're drunk, and you're doing what I used to do, and you're just putting excuses in the way of it. Those meetings are there if you want to go to them, and they'll always be there. But I suggest that you're dying, and you should probably go sooner rather than later.
Thanks, Ian.
Thanks a lot, Gavin. Take care, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, I revealed a bit more about myself than I was expecting to. I tell you what, it's really been on my mind to have a drink recently. It really has been. With all this stuff that's going on, the whole thinking of, man, I could do with a beer. And your mind takes, and it's sick to have these thoughts, but I do think, right, if one of my kids died, I think I'd go out and get drunk.
Because it would justify it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally. But, to the point where, of course I don't want my kids to die, because they are everything to me, but my sick head is kind of thinking, well, yeah,
that's the get out.
That would be a bonus out of it, you've got to think. Wow. Good luck, Gavin. AA meetings are on all over the country, all around the world, wherever you are. I've been to meetings in different countries, and it's, they're everywhere, and you can go, and it's all wonderful, and it's some of them are hard work, some of them are funny, some of them you see some famous people in. I've seen some famous people in, big stars I've seen in there, big stars. And some of them it kicks off and there's a punch-up. Love a punch-up.
Do you have to have a problem to go? Because I quite fancy it.
Yeah, well, if you, here's the thing. If you look online, some of them will say every first Saturday open, or this meeting is open, or this meeting is closed. And what it means is, if it's open, you don't have to be an alcoholic to go.
Yeah, but it's a bit weird if you're not in it.
Well, no, I mean,
unless you're supporting someone.
Sometimes people bring people along. Sometimes people go because they think, you know, maybe their granddad had a problem and their granddad's dead, but it might just help them to understand it a bit better. You know, it is what it is. And there's men's groups, there's women's groups, there's mixed groups, there's, I think there's Polish groups, I think there's Jewish groups, I think there's Sikh groups, there's all different you go on the website and find
Some people have got a problem with AA because they feel like it's a religious thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's because it's got the word God in it, and it's because it was created in the 1920s by a kind of a religious guy, Bill. Is it Bill W? Mm-hmm. And he was religious, and it does have the word God in it, and it does have the word God with a capital G, and people struggle with that. People struggle. It's not really religious. It's kind of God as in like the universe, as in like a higher power. It can be a Christian God if you want. It can be a tree if you want. It can be whatever.
It's hope, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, but people kind of use that as it's a weird Christian cult, and it's not Christian at all. But the God thing, it put me off for a bit, and then a mate said, "Well, just ignore the word God. Say everything else, and just ignore the word God, and it's all right." It's all right. We've got a full switchboard. It's all blokes. I've noticed we've been getting very blokish recently. We've got Nigel, Andre, Rashid, Gatford and Jonathan. 0344 499 1000. Skype, a late night alternative. This is the late night alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio with Time to Change. 1 in 4 of us will fight a mental health problem this year. Having a mate in your corner can make all the difference. Search Time to Change to find out more.
Unmissable late night radio with the original king of unconventional conversation. Make contact with Iain Lee. The late night alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Well, I'm not going to give out the number. We've got loads of calls. Let's go to Jonathan. Good evening, Jonathan.
Evening, Iain.
Evening, Jonathan. I've got a blinding headache. What have you got for us this evening, sir?
Well, it's funny you should talk about Bill Hicks, because I've been thinking about him a bit recently.
Oh, yeah, go on.
And, well, I'm just... there's a part of me that's glad that he's no longer around, because if he were, he'd probably be one of the most hated men on the planet.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, he'd be called racist, sexist, bigoted, all these words by anonymous Twitter trolls. And
well, I don't know if he'd be... Hang on, why would he be called racist? I'm trying to think of a Bill Hicks routine that could be interpreted as racism.
Well, everything is racist these days.
No, it's not. Only racist stuff.
No, a lot of stuff is considered racist.
No, it's not. It's not. This is the thing.
Kim Jong-un.
No. Well, the problem that people had with the Kim Jong-un thing was the eyes. And that could be perceived as being racist. What we don't do is we don't put our fingers to the side of our eyes and pull them so they look like Oriental eyes. We don't do that anymore. And he was basically doing that, but with a more expensive prosthetic. We don't do that. That could be perceived as racist. And I'll tell you why. Because I've probably done that. I have done that in my life. And my sister is married to a half Chinese lad, half Chinese, half New Zealand, and they've got kids who are beautiful and wonderful. And maybe I haven't seen them for ages. Maybe I'll get to see them one day soon. But they are absolutely stunning. But they look. You can tell they have Chinese heritage. And my sister was telling me how at a wedding once there was someone stood behind their backs doing the eyes. That's why we don't. It's why we don't do that, because that is racist. So, do I think David Williams is a racist? No, I don't. I think he's naive, and I think prosthetic eyes to make yourself look Oriental. I think I can understand why that could be interpreted as being racist. Yes.
I didn't notice anything about the eyes.
Well, you did. Yes, you, Jonathan, you did, mate. And come on, because I know you. Well, then you weren't looking properly.
I didn't. I was more focused on the hair, actually.
Well, the hair was amazing. Because I don't know how he did that. Because he did look like he had a receding hairline.
It was a bit short.
But Jonathan, if you didn't, I simply don't believe you that you didn't see the eyes. I just don't believe you because you're a really bright bloke, and I know that you're very, very observant. So I don't buy that, I'm afraid, mate. But no, racism. I got accused today because I said Tommy Robinson was a racist. I think he's a thug. He's been to prison for thuggery, you know. Just someone now has just go on in, back up that, say that Tommy Robinson, prove that Tommy Robinson's a racist. I don't need to because I believe that he is. I know that he is. I call people a racist when they do racist things, and I think there are probably some people that bandy it around a little bit too free and easily, but the majority of people will call out racism as racism. Now, here's the thing. The people who are racists and don't believe they are racists say too often, oh, you're simply saying that because you're a left-wing libtard. That gets used more than it should do. People calling out racism, I'm all for it. If people are racist, beautiful. Call them out. Let's point our finger at them and laugh at them and deride them. If people have made mistakes that could be interpreted as racism, but it's just through naivety or stupidity or bad advice, then sure, let's point that out and highlight that. And I personally think they should be given another chance. Not everyone agrees with that. That's their own thing. But yes, if someone is a racist, Jonathan, I am all for pointing the finger and shouting as loudly as you can, that person is a racist. Thanks for your call. Let's go to Nigel. Good evening, Nigel.
Oh, good evening, Ian. You all right?
Yep.
Yeah, where should I start? My favourite paper is The Sun. My favourite paper.
I don't know. Are we doing...
We have to ask them when they phone up at the moment.
Yeah.
But that was off air, Nigel. But thanks very much for reiterating that.
Yeah. Ian?
Yes.
Friday night is music night. That's what they used to say, isn't it? Friday night is music night. I was watching the good old days earlier. You know the old good old days, Andrew Sachs.
Andrew Sachs, you mean?
You know, the person who played Manuel in, you know...
I've got literally, even by your standards, this is more rambling than usual.
But anyway, it was the Good Old Days programme. They used to have they used to have comedians...
Oh, the Good Old Days was on TV tonight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I used to hate it. It was done like a Victorian music hall.
I know, but it made a change to watch it for a change.
It made a change to watch it for a change?
Yes, that's a limerick there.
No.
I'm going to ask you something. I went to meet my new local vicar today.
What, have you got something in your mouth?
No, my local vicar...
Yeah, because
I've got a sore throat.
No, it's not, Nigel, it's because you're not using the phone properly.
Oh, perhaps it's not. Is that better?
Yes, because now you're using the phone properly.
It's not a regular speaker. You have to hold it quite close.
Yes, it's a telephone. Yeah.
Not so good as the ones you carry about.
Not many people know how it's... I saw a woman today in her 50s walking down the phone doing the Apprentice phone. She had it on speaker, holding it out in front of her and holding doing the conversation like that. People don't know how to use telephones anymore, and it makes me sick.
Yeah. My vicar, he's quite a new vicar to us, a few months or something. He's got a rock band on YouTube, and I was just going to look it up in a while, but maybe you can look it up now on the computer.
No,
the name.
I'm not going to.
Oh, okay. It's a rock band. Anyway, it's unusual for vicars to have their own bands, isn't it?
I guess so, Nigel.
And by the way, Miley Cyrus's new CD is out in HMV. I saw that yesterday.
What have you called in for, Nigel?
Pardon?
What have you called in for?
Just for a chat. No, just for a chat instead of singing for a change.
Okie dokie.
I like to say bits and bobs. So Miley Cyrus is ready to buy in the shops now. Her new album.
Right.
Anyway, so that's good. It's £7. That's all. They've gone down in price, haven't they?
Thanks for calling, Nigel. I mean, let's try Rashid. Good evening, Rashid.
Hello.
Right, here's where I'm going. Shut up. Here's where I'm going tonight, right? If people don't use their phones properly, I'm cutting them off straight away.
I'm sorry, mate.
Yeah, I'm going to get strict on this now. I don't want any speakerphones. I don't want any Bluetooths. I don't want anyone doing an apprentice phone. If you phone it up, at least have the decency to have the phone next to your mouth. How's about that, huh?
I was in the bathroom and I was listening from the bathroom and when Nigel was on, and then I just ran from the bathroom.
Well,
say hello. Okay, now I put it on a normal phone.
Okay, well, let's get to the point.
What is the point?
Thanks very much for calling. Let's try Gatford. Good evening, Gatford.
Hi, boss. How you doing?
Hi.
I know you got a headache, so I know you're not feeling fantastic.
I've got a headache, yes.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, of course you can.
I've never had any experiences with the drugs that you mentioned or anything like that, but I did have a strange experience with a prescription drug.
Ooh.
And I wanted to ask you if it was the same sort of thing, because I've got no comparison.
Yeah.
So when I first started taking anxiety medication,
yes,
I used to get very weird dreams, like you mentioned before, with like the Beatles coming in and playing in front of you, like that kind of like real horrible dreams.
Hang on a minute. The Beatles playing Eleanor Rigby whilst dressed in tuxedos was not horrible. It was beautiful.
Well, you know what I mean. In the sense of that, it didn't feel like a dream.
Yeah.
It felt real. So that wasn't nice. When that kind of like waking state when you wake up after a really deep sleep, where you're not sure if you're sleeping or awake.
Yes.
So I stopped taking it for a while because I didn't like how it made me feel.
Yeah.
And then I went back to the GP and lowered the dose and everything and started again and built it up.
Yes.
Is that in any way similar to those other experiences?
No.
Okay.
No.
Just because I've got no comparison.
No, and also the thing as well, I forgot to say with LSD, music was you could feel the music with your fingers as it danced through the air. A lot of laughing, a lot of questioning my parenthood. It really is. It's everything and more. But a lot of laughter, a lot more laughing on that than I had on any other drug. I never really got the giggles with weed. I never, certainly with the other drugs, no. But prescription medication, the antidepressants I'm on now, they give me very, very dark dreams. Every night, it's a dark old dream.
Yeah, and it worries me at times, because I'm still on that medication. It does worry me at times. If I go through a couple of days of having weird dreams, I do think, perhaps I'll stop taking it, but then I know it's doing me more good than harm, generally, I think.
That's a conversation you need to have with a GP.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
That's the thing when you're taking medication for depression or anxiety or any of these things, is weighing up the pros and cons. There will always be cons to taking. Well, won't always. There will quite often be some cons to taking very powerful prescribed narcotics.
And it's just, I don't have much sort of, as you say, I'm not, all those things that you talked about would utterly scare me.
Yeah.
About the whole idea of laughing and feeling, open and things like that would scare me enough never to try it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not, I'm not inquisitive enough or whatever enough to try it.
Well, no, and I don't think that someone not taking street drugs is down to a lack of inquisitivity.
Well, I think there is some element of that, because there was peer pressure when I was younger to do that sort of thing. There was people that were saying, you should try this, and, you should do this, it really helps. And I'd be like, I don't like the way in which, in the same way that some people don't like being around drunk people.
Yeah.
Because you end up being the sober one and they're drunk. It's that same sort of peer pressure around, I didn't like how those other people were around me, so it scared me enough never to do it.
Have you watched any of this Tracy Ullman show?
No. Well, I think I watched the first episode last year when it was on.
I have 2 out times on my screen. Can I have 1 out time on my screen, please? I've got 2 out times here. I've got 56:35 and 57:50. I'm on the screen, Iain Lee, as well. We watched about 15 minutes of it.
Yeah.
And man alive, it was dull.
The only thing I liked that she did was when she dressed up as Judi Dench and went round swearing a lot and saying, "I'm Judi Dench." That was quite funny. But apart from that,
I saw that one. When the best thing about it is the prosthetics, there's a problem.
Like she does, like Angela Merkel and stuff, but then that's been done,
But then doesn't say anything. Then doesn't say anything funny.
Yeah.
It was, and I don't like to speak badly about anyone. There's obviously a lot of work and effort has gone into that. But they've obviously forgot to put jokes in. It looked great, and it was unfunny.
Friday night comedy on the BBC.
Thank you very much indeed. Let's squeeze in Andre. Good evening, Andre.
Hi, Ian. All right, Kath?
Yep.
Kath, I don't want to go... Oh, who should I talk to, Kath or Ian?
Well, you've got exactly 60 seconds, so...
Just a quick one. Just going over the AA business.
Yes.
Where was the nearest open house or free house, whatever you want to call it? No, not only that. Funny thing happened. I was down in town, put my AA card into the cash point machine. It said, your drinks will be with you within the hour.
Oh, that's not bad, is it?
Yeah, right now.
Send it to Tracy Ullman, for God's sake.
Yes.
He drinks... Oh, yeah, I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait like that long, so I just went in the pub. Ian, yeah?
Yes, Andre. You've got 30 seconds.
Yeah, how the devil are the pair of you? Oh, you know it's nearly Christmas. I'm going to send you both a Christmas pudding.
That will
Does
be...
that ring a bell?
Yes.
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it will be wonderful.
Does he mean his penis?
Right. Singing? Pardon?
Thanks for calling, Andre. That first hour, I mean, very, very much like a psychedelic experience. Another 2 hours of this rubbish. 0344 499 1000. You can call up now. You can Skype Late Night Alternative. This is the Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio. With time to change, 1 in 4 of us will fight a mental health problem this year. Having a mate in your corner can make all the difference. Go online, look for Time to Change to find out more.
Talk Radio.
0344 499 1000. This is the Late Night Alternative. My name's Iain Lee and the radio station is Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Good morning. 9 a.m. on Wednesday, the 30th of September.
There's a world outside I no longer feel, and it's hard to make my mind up anymore. There's a girl who's kind, waiting at the door, and she wants to make you happy in her own way. Did you notice that I was bored of everything? Did you notice that I was sleeping through the day? I no longer feel it. Memories of a time when it blows my mind. But there's always another girl. So we left our place, that we could try to hold it down. Was it really what you needed, or what you felt you should do? I'm alright, and you know that you're looking fine, but I still listen to that music every night. Did you notice that I was bored of everything? Did you notice that I was sleeping through the day? I wish I could see it. Memories of a time when it blows my mind. But there's always another girl. Another time, another place.
Oh, hang on a second. I know what that is. I think we might have a call on Skype. I forgot they were wired up. That was confusing, wasn't it? Hello, caller. All that, and he's not going to answer. Hello, caller. Oh, hang on a second, because I've had to do... I was recording answer phone messages. Stay there, Jamie. Stay there, Jamie. I've had to change some of the settings. Hang on. Built-in output, same as system. Jamie! Now we should be able to hear him. Dear. Well, let's, Jamie, can you hear me? Can you feel me near you? Jamie, can you see me? Can I help to cheer you? Oh, what we'll do is we'll switch it off and switch it on again. That will do it.
That's called a hard reset.
There we go. That's what we'll do. So if you're calling on Skype, hold your horses, guys. We're going to switch off and then we're going to switch on again. You can always call us by the telephone. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. This is the Late Night Alternative. I'm Iain Lee. She's Catherine Boyle. And tomorrow is our last live Rabbit Hole show of 2017. We will be at Slater's in Wolverhampton between 7 and 9. We start at 7. We've got to finish at 9 because there's another show straight after us. So, we will be... I think this will be the last one we do as part of a comedy festival. Because, A, we get much smaller cut of the door. Very bad split. I should have gone in for a better deal.
The other thing is that you're trusting someone else to be in control of something you really care about.
Yeah, I know. I think this will be the last one. We got a crappy split of the door, 60-40. What was I thinking? So it's going to be... But this is going to be Wolverhampton tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. Tickets on the door. I doubt it'll sell out. And that's it for this year. And a new episode of The Rabbit Hole went up yesterday, and it was our first one... recorded in Brighton.
Yeah.
It was funny, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was all right.
Why do you say it like that?
Because I don't like listening to myself.
No, I can't. I don't listen to any of them. I can't listen to any of them.
But people liked it.
I'm just trying to see if I can get this to work now. Hang on a second, guys. Hang on, guys. So we're introducing futuristic technologies. Let me... try and do a little Skype test. Hang on. Let's speak to the Skype test lady. She's good. Call me to test your sound. Here we go. Why can't we hear her? Something very clear is going on with my computer. That should be working. If I unplug this. Turn the computer off a bit, please, Sam. Thank you. I don't know what's going on with this. That should be working.
Hello.
Right.
Welcome to Skype call testing service. After the beep,
right, turn the computer on now.
A message. Afterwards,
there
your
we
message
go.
will
We're
be
in.
played back to you.
Hello, Skype lady. Can you hear me? Hello, Skype lady. Can you hear... Yeah, get stuff. This is the Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio with Time to Change. Now, we had a couple of missed calls there, so I'm just going to see if this will work. We're going to call Japan and speak to Hisako. You say, Ohayo gozaimasu. That means good morning, OK? I'll tell you when. Here we go, go.
Ohayo gozaimasu.
Hi. Ohayo.
You always sound so tired.
日本ですよ。
Yes, you're speaking in Japanese. Why are you not speaking in English? Turn your... Oh, here we go. turn those speakers off.
Okay.
Here we go.
I can speak English.
Nihon is Japanese. Watashi wa Nihon... Oh, I can't remember. Watashi no...
Turn your speakers off.
Oh, God.
Here we go.
You need to turn... Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, you need to turn... We can hear us from about 10 seconds ago.
Okay.
Yes?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Catherine, saying something.
Yes, I said, Ohayo gozaimasu.
Okay. Ohayo gozaimasu, yeah.
Genki desu?
Genki desu yo.
Next week, I'm taking Catherine out for some economiyaki.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's my favourite food in the world. I love some economiyaki.
How about takoyaki?
Teppanyaki?
Takoyaki.
Takoyaki.
Octopus. Like a ball.
Octopus soup?
Rounding. Yeah, octopus.
I like octopus.
I hate octopus.
Eh?
I hate octopus. It's chewy.
It's good.
It's like chewing on a rubber.
Yeah, chewy, yeah. But good one is not chewy.
No, I don't. I don't think octopus. I would like to see all octopuses eradicated from this planet.
Anyway, I'm a vegetarian, so I don't eat octopus.
Watashi wa vegetarian desu. Sakana to niko o tabimasen.
No.
That's why when I was a vegetarian, and when I went to Japan, I had to learn that. Watashi wa vegetarian desu. Sakana to niko o tabimasen. Meat and fish I don't eat. Meat and fish, sakana to. Because when I was saying I was a vegetarian, they would then. I remember that I checked into a really posh hotel for one night. It's all I could afford. One night.
Oh.
And I'd been emailing them. It was a tiny hotel, only 6 rooms, and you had your own maid. And I'd been emailing them, and I said, I'm a vegetarian. And they said, OK, we can work with that. And do you know how they worked around that? They only gave me a tiny bit of meat. They gave me a tiny bit of meat.
Tiny bit.
It was a really tiny bit. And no extra other bits of food. Just the same food, but with a tiny bit of meat.
They should serve your vegetables.
They gave me the same amount of vegetables that they gave my wife.
Oh dear.
Tiny bit of meat, but that's why we love that.
They couldn't understand your English,
yes.
I think.
Well, no, they didn't. They didn't understand, bless them, and they tried really hard. So what would happen is we had like a 7-course meal in our room.
Of tiny meat.
And the maid would bring in the food and display it, and we both go, this looks fantastic. And then as she went, I would put the tiny bit of meat in my wife's bowl, and then she'd come in, and my wife was full up. She doesn't eat a lot. She was full up, and I said, you've got to eat these tiny bits of meat, because otherwise we're going to look rude. I don't want to offend anyone. So, but it was good. I love that place so much.
You should go to the restaurant, I think.
Should go where?
To a restaurant.
A restaurant, yes.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, well, we went to... But again, the number of... And I'm not a vegetarian now, so I can eat it all. But number of vegetarians, we walked in and said, watashi wa vegetarian desu, and they just went, no! That some of them laughed at us, but most of them went, no.
Don't even think about it.
Did you see my pictures?
You sent... Yes, now, let's have a little look.
I sent the pictures to my place.
You sent a picture? I've got a picture. Hang on, I've got to download it. Let's see what happens when I download it. Hang on.
I sent a picture. That's from my view.
Oh, well, but what you've done is you've then put good morning and 2 emojis sort of exactly on the horizon. So
let me see.
All I can see
foggy this morning, so.
But all I can see is
I can see fog.
Like the apartments opposite you, a phone booth. And I can't see. I'm assuming those are fields, but I can't see because you've put some emojis.
You can't see the field.
No, because you put
foggy.
Well, no,
this morning.
It's not just because of the fog. It's because of
around.
But it looks beautiful.
Yeah, that's right. Everyone says
it looks beautiful, man. I want when we come over to Japan next, we're going to come and stay at your house, and we're going to listen.
I have no space.
Tough. We're going to listen to Loretta Lynn records.
You can move out.
That's what's
I
happening.
can't hear.
Oh.
Yeah. That's
Giotto. It's a little
connection is a little bit bad.
Well, you sound good from our end. It does amaze me that we can...
thank you.
We can... the connection. It does amaze me that we can speak to someone in Japan crystal queer. By the way, that's my drag name. I'm Crystal Queer. Crystal Queer. I can't do it. You say it.
Crystal Queer?
No, crystal clear. There we go.
Crystal clear. Oh,
now say Crystal Queer. No.
She's right.
You're right. What does a Saturday hold for you, Hisako-san?
All for you? What do you mean?
What are you going to do?
What will you be doing on this Saturday?
I have nothing
to
do, but I should go out.
Why?
For the paying something.
No, forget it. Stay at home. Read a book.
Yeah. No. It just maybe I take a bath and.
Have you got any pets?
No, I can't have a pet because most Japanese apartment can't have a pet.
Go and buy.
You need to pay more.
Go and buy a cat. They won't know.
No.
Yeah, we're going to send you a cat.
We'll bring one.
I love cats.
We are going to.
I'm a cat person.
Yeah, of course you are. We're going to send you. Cats are quite mystical and magical in Japan, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to send you a black cat.
Black cat is sweet.
Yeah, I've got a black
Sweet cat.
Yeah.
Oh,
Tasty.
That's good. Tasty.
Very tasty, Hisako. When it all goes pear-shaped, we can always cut up our cats and eat them.
Oh, now.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Hisako, I'm going to move on. Nice to talk to you.
All right.
Sayonara.
Thank you very much.
Tutty bye, tutty
See you
bye.
then.
Bye-bye. This is the Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio with Time to Change. 1 in 4 of us will fight a mental health problem this year. Having a mate in your corner can really make all of the difference. Search Time to Change to find out more.
Closing time conversation for tax inspectors, taxi drivers and taxidermists. Great big talk for the wee small hours.
You've been trolling me big time, mate.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
I'm sorry. I'm watching a video of Prison Planet. You know, the online... what would you describe Prison Planet? Oh yeah, the shit stirrer. And it's an advertisement for brain power pills. Oh man alive! And people listen to him as though he's something important. This is the Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio with Time to Change. After a feisty first hour, things calmed down slightly in the second hour. Feeling a bit tired tonight, a bit bloated, a bit headachy. Something's not quite right. Struggled to get much done today. Posted some bits and pieces. Boring day. Posted some bits and pieces. Then went and watched my eldest play football at school. And he has exactly the same technique and attitude towards football as I did, which is he'll run towards the ball. Then when it looks like he's getting near to it, he'll kind of turn and start running the other way, which I think is a great technique. And I wholeheartedly recommend that you should all be doing that. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Well, let's do this because we had Matt Haig on yesterday, the author. I love Matt. I think he's brilliant. I think he's a very funny man. I think he's a very clever man. I think he's a very brave man with some of the stuff that he says and does. Okay. And he tweeted something which I thought was really interesting, and I retweeted it. And I'm just going to find it. Some of you will have seen it, and some of you won't. Here we go. This is Matt Haig from 3 hours ago. And I've not even seen the responses in his Twitter feed, because the responses I was getting just from retweeting it were insane. I'm not wearing a poppy this year. I think it's shifting from a symbol remembering war's horror to a symbol of war-hungry nationalism. I'm not wearing a poppy this year. I think it's shifting from a symbol remembering war's horror to a symbol of war-hungry nationalism. And I retweeted it, because I thought it was interesting. I do find the poppy fascism, find it fascinating. I always have done. I've done jobs, particularly for the BBC, where I've been told I have to wear a poppy. Oh, fair enough. I've got no, I didn't have any problem then. But do you remember that old geezer we had at the BBC, who was this old colonel or something, an old guy, big white bushy moustache, and he was I would suggest an overzealous poppy salesman. What was the story? Somewhere had stopped him from selling poppies or wouldn't let him park for free to sell his poppies or something.
I think he had to pay to be able to be inside the supermarket or something.
I think it was parking. And he came in and we kind of gave him a fair crack of the whip, but he was very rude. He'd had a go at one of our colleagues because he'd stopped her on the stairs. This is like 6 a.m, right? Stopped Sophie on the stairs and forced her to buy a poppy, right? And then she put £1 in, and he said he criticised the amount of money that she put in. He said that wasn't enough. And we didn't get on, it's fair to say. I wonder if someone got that interview, because I'd love, if anyone has got, I know some of you listening to this, if any of you got that interview with me and the poppy guy, it's a long shot, can you email it to me, Iain@iainlee.com, and I'll play it, because it got tense.
Right, that guy was, at best, a character. At worst, a bully hiding behind a character.
It got very tense, and I think there was a long silence, and at one point I went, well, this is uncomfortable, isn't it? And that was quite early on, I think, for me at that place.
But he wouldn't have respected you if you'd buckled.
No, he wouldn't. He was bully. If anyone's got that, I'd love to play some of it out. Iain@iainlee.com, if you've got it. And I know that that's a long shot. So I'm always intrigued by the bullying around poppies, the disdain and the mockery of people who choose to wear the white poppy. I'd be too afraid to wear a white poppy because I know people would. I've seen people getting aggressive because of it. James O'Brien, I don't know if he tweeted it or if he retweeted it from someone else, said that it was interesting.
He tweeted it. I thought it was great.
The interesting that the people calling out others for not wearing poppies are those that are also critical of virtue signalling. Now, virtue signalling is where you go online and say, oh, I saw a programme about orphans last night and I felt really bad for them, or I helped an old lady across the road today. It's where you say something out loud that shows that you're a caring person.
But there are idiots online who take any gesture towards your fellow man as virtue signalling.
Anyway, so I retweeted Matt's thing. I'm not wearing a... 0344 499 1000 is the phone number if you want to call in about this. I retweeted, I'm not wearing a poppy this year. I think it's shifting from a symbol remembering war's horror to a symbol of a war-hungry nationalism. First reply I got is, bloody hell, sad. So I replied, I struggle with the poppy fascism. You know they fought for the right to decide if you want to wear one or not. And also, not wearing doesn't necessarily mean you're not contributing financially. Then I've got someone called Joanne calling me an idiot. It's for the people who died for our freedom, for your right, nothing more, nothing less. Yes, and it's for the right to choose. But they were fighting fascism and Nazism. And it is, use me as an example, it is my right to decide, I have the freedom now in this country to decide what trousers I put on, what shirt I put on, what obvious physical display of financial support to a charity that I choose or to wear or to not wear, whether that's one of those bracelets, whether it's a poppy, whatever. I don't have to, because we live in a free country because of those people who gave their lives.
Also, everyone that bangs the drums that you must wear a poppy and it's disrespectful if you don't, seem to say that it's all about dead soldiers. It isn't. It's about live soldiers, about live families. You know, I donate because I have someone in my family who's in the forces, right? I'm not wearing a poppy. None of your business, why not?
This Joanne again. When you see the old man sitting in a petrol station with medals and his face lights up when you wear a poppy, that matters. I've replied, I don't live in 1956, so I do not recognise this scene, because that's never happened. Then loads of people sending me abuse. I'm sure they were sending Matt abuse. Lots of people sending support as well. It's got to be said. It was kind of evenly split. Then some guy having a go at me because of another presenter, but a presenter on LBC. And I said, I don't think I was rude to him.
Ian Dale
then he was talking to Ian. So people got very, very confused. This is a great one from Dogface Boy. I'm the same with the paper hat from the cracker at Christmas dinner. I know I should, but feel that baby Jesus was born, so I didn't have to. I'm the only person that wears the cracker hat at Christmas, and it really pisses me off. No one else wears the cracker hat.
I married into a family where that's become a competition, and it's the last one wearing the hat that's the winner of Christmas, which I don't think was the message.
Oh, Mum always leaves with it on her head. And then some fella, right, okay, a guy called Peter, he's come to one of the shows Ed did. Didn't he come to the one in Birmingham or something? And he's been a regular contributor on Twitter. And he's one of those people, right, quite often his contributions are great and heartfelt and warming, but every now and then there'll just be a, I know more than you do, and you're doing it wrong tone, which he will, of course, disagree with, and he's welcome to call in, 03444991000. But every now and then there's a real hint of, not even a hint, there's a real arrogance. Mm-hmm. And it's been a borderline, do I mute him or not? But then he'll say something really nice about the show, and I think, I can't mute that guy. And then, so he's then said, assuming people that wear a poppy are war-hungry also shouldn't be a thing. Seems hypocritical that Matt's attacking people that wear one. Now, let's just go back to Matt Haig's original tweet, and you see if he's attacking people here. I'm not wearing a poppy this year. I think it's shifting from a symbol remembering war's horror to a symbol of war-hungry nationalism. No one's been attacked. No one's being attacked. No one's being called out. And again, Peter says, assuming people that wear a poppy are war-hungry shouldn't be a thing. He doesn't. Seems hypocritical that Matt's attacking people that wear one. He isn't. He's doing neither of those things.
But what those two tweets say to me is that he feels that he's been identified there. Well, that's down to you.
Yeah, it does. And it got very, oh, look now. OK, Peter. Sometimes I wonder if I've made the right decision blocking people. Yeah, I have. Because then he sent Prison Planet to Matt Haig saying, check out this privileged idiot.
OK, well, right. I muted him. I'm going to block him now.
And then he said to Matt, this is great. I'm not a war-hungry nationalist for wearing a poppy, and neither am I shifting towards being one. And Matt has replied, great. Weird that you're a fan of Prison Planet, then. Oh, God. Oh, God. Yeah. Pete has completely misunderstood Matt's tweet, and it's fine. You suggested it might have been wine o'clock. I don't know. I don't want to pick on Pete because he's not here. He's welcome to call in. But he completely misunderstood the basic premise of that tweet. He's now tweeting pictures of liberals wearing poppies, saying, well, is this a war-hungry nationalist?
Right. See, this is the problem. When I don't mind people disagreeing. It's when they won't let it go. That's when I start to get alarm bells.
This was 27 minutes ago he's still doing it. Pete, let it go, dude. Let it go. Let it go. I'm glad I blocked him. You can call in about that. There is. I haven't got round to buying a poppy yet. I probably will do. I'll certainly put a few coins in the thing. But if I choose not to wear a poppy, that I have nothing. And I'm clear on this now. I wasn't clear on this for a while, but I am clear on this now. For the moment, again, it may shift. I have nothing but respect for those that have served and those that are currently serving. For a long time, I wasn't sure about those that were currently serving. It was a little bit of a wavery thing. But at this moment in my life, I have respect for everybody who has served and who has sacrificed their life, and I have respect for those that are still serving. I may not agree with the battles that they are told to get involved with.
Well,
but
here's the thing. Neither do they.
No, exactly. But they have chosen to make a huge sacrifice for, I believe, most of them believe, for the safety of my kids. And they are making a sacrifice that I was not prepared to make as a young person and would be reluctant to make now unless I really, really had to. So I am grateful. I don't need to wear a little plastic green stick and a little 2 bits of red paper to show, to acknowledge, to virtue signal that I have respect for those people. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. This is the Late Night Alternative with Talk Radio with Time to Change.
Take a trip into the alternate reality of late night radio.
I think I'm in something like the Matrix, and so are you.
The Late Night Alternative.
Hello.
With Iain Lee.
Is there anybody out there?
On Talk Radio.
Hello.
Let us go to Manny. Are you coming to the show on in Wolverhampton tomorrow?
I bloody am.
Hey, did I say I was going to give him a free ticket?
Yes.
Oh, balls.
Yeah, that's a 10 lost telling for you.
We also said that you were allowed to feel our faces, Manny.
I'm only coming to see Cat anyway. I'm not going to see Iain.
What's a heavy breather? What's a heavy breather? What's a masturbator?
Whoa!
I had so much drink today, so I've got no drink tomorrow.
Well, hang on. I thought you weren't drinking.
Oh, bloody... Never mind.
Stop drinking.
No.
All right, carry on drinking.
I don't think I may be able to month.
I will tell you now, though, if you're at the thing tomorrow and you're drunk and you're boring me, I'm going to walk away from you.
I'm not drinking tomorrow.
Shut up! You're annoying me now. Shut up! You're annoying me now. Drunk people really annoy me. Here's the thing, and I've learnt to do this over the last couple of years. Okay, we will meet people after the show, and it's wonderful. You can have pictures with us for free if you want a picture with the sellotape. It's £1. But if you're drunk. And you're boring, and I'm not just talking to you, Manny, but I'm talking to everyone, and you're drunk now and you're boring me. If you're drunk and you're boring, or you're drunk and you're obnoxious, we will walk away. And I've got no qualms about doing that. I'm quite happy. If you're drunk and just going a little bit beyond what is socially acceptable, I've not got a problem with saying, Catherine, we're going to move on now, and moving away, and you've got to deal with it.
I'm not like that when I'm meeting people. I don't
like
drink
it
when I'm with...
now on the phone.
Today, I'm at home, that's why.
Yeah, but you're boring me. You're being rude and you're not listening.
I haven't said nothing rude to you.
You're being rude and you're not listening.
Yeah, but I'm not being rude.
Yes, you are. You're being rude and boring like drunk people are, and you're not listening to what I'm saying.
Carry on.
Exactly, you see, I've finished, but you didn't know that because you weren't listening.
I did. I was listening, but tomorrow I won't say nothing. I'll have my wife.
But you're being rude and boring and drunk now.
No, yeah, but not tomorrow when it matters.
Yeah, but I'm talking. No, but it matters now because guess what? I'm talking to you now.
No, it doesn't matter now. Tomorrow.
No, I'll tell you when it matters to me. When you being drunk and annoying matters, and it matters now.
Listen, tomorrow I've got to come my own because my wife's in Canada. I've got to get a taxi up there. I
couldn't care less. I'm not talking about tomorrow. The rate you're going, you're not going to get a free ticket.
No, I'm going to hit you with my white stick.
Yeah, and you'll get a punch in the face. I've got no qualms about boxing a blind fella in the nose.
Never mind. Yeah, you're right.
You talk to him, so I'm getting pissed off with him.
Go on then, Manny. What did you want to say?
No, I just want to say hello. That's all.
All right then. Hello.
I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
There we go. Jeez, he was being annoying, wasn't he? Isn't that boring, loud, drunk way that drunk people are?
We've seen drunker.
Just this relentless. And when we did last time we did one of the reasons we stopped doing the rabbit hole in London, or at the Bill Murray. We're coming back to the Bill Murray on April the 1st. Yeah, and I'm sorry, it's on Easter Sunday. So what? So what, Christians?
Vicars are going to have to rearrange their calendars.
We're coming back to the Bill Murray on Sunday the 1st, right? An early evening show, 6 till 8. Or is it 5 till 7? 6 till 8, I think.
Or 5 till 7.
I'll check. And someone went, so put the tickets on sale, and instead of people going, oh, okay, that's great. Oh, okay. Someone went, Easter Sunday? Oh, sorry, I didn't know we had a huge Christian following. Yeah, is it? Okay, fine, whatever.
This reminds me of when I try and...
heck.
My girlfriends from school try and organise stuff. I always wait till the very last email before I decide whether I'm in or out, because there's always to in and fro in, and I can't be doing with it. Come, don't come. It's up to you.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I didn't know it was Easter. This is the problem with Easter. It's not on a fixed day each year. The church, 2 or 3 years ago, were talking about... 3 years ago... were talking about getting a fixed date, like we have Christmas is on the 25th of
Then
December.
it could be Easter Sunday, could it?
Well, no, but a fixed, so it'd be like the second Sunday of April is what it would be. Because it's not, because it can be in March or April now. So they were going to do that. They never got round to that, did they? Too busy making women vicars and letting gays get married. Forget that. The important stuff is we want to know where Easter is.
Thing is, it's also April Fool's Day, so
that's kind of more
pertinent.
That's sort of why I went
make
for
plans.
It. So yeah. So we will be there, the Bill Murray, on Sunday the 1st of April, Easter Sunday. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry that our live shows don't fit into your holy celebrations. But the last time we did it there, I think it was the last time, we had 2 drunk people individually be really obnoxious. There was one guy, because we go and have pictures done and stuff like that, and I'm a firm believer, right, that if you're putting money in our pocket, the very least we can do is go and shake your hand, spend a couple of minutes in your company with you specifically, looking at you face to face. And if you want a picture, beautiful, get some pictures. No, absolutely not a problem with that.
But we don't just do it for the financials. It's actually a pleasure. Most of the time.
Yeah. But then there was this one guy who was just banging on and on and on, and he said, "Can I get a picture?" I was like, "Yeah." And I think I had to sit on his lap, or he had to sit on my lap, or something like that. And it was like, yeah, okay. And then he hit me, but in a playful way, but it was quite hard. And then he was trying to get more, and it went on for ages, and there were loads of other people, and I was trying to get away from it. And eventually I did, politely. And then he was chipping in to when everyone else was having their pictures done, and I was going, "That's great. Can you just..." And then this woman came over. I've been a fan of yours for years, Ian. Been listening to you since XFM. LBC, and I'm so nervous, and I just thought tonight it was just so disappointing. You've changed the show since the last time you did it. You really need to have a screen.
Oh, she'd already collared me in the toilet queue, by the way.
Oh, she was just, and I was like, okay, I'm like, yeah, if you want to be critical, fine, okay, maybe you've got something important to say. And it went on and on and on and on. And then got a bit personal about me and Kath and not being funny. And then it got quite rude. And it was one of for ages. She was bored. I said, okay, right. Can you remind, how much did you pay for the ticket? £11. Okay. I'm going to give you your money back. Oh, no, I don't want your money. I got 11 quid out. I said, here you go. I said, here you go. Here's 11 quid. Honestly, I don't want anyone to walk away and say that they had a bad evening and be out of pocket. So I'm not doing this as a thing. I'm not doing this now you're being aggressive to me. So I'm not being aggressive. Seriously, here's the money for you. Is that your boyfriend? I will give you his money. It's 22 quid. I can afford it. I don't want to take money. I'd feel bad knowing that people left it. Oh, you're just being aggressive to me. I said, no. What I'm doing is, then I started, I countered each of her criticisms. I said, well, the reason we don't use the screen anymore is this. Interesting what you said about that, but I disagree and why. Now you're being aggressive. I said, no. You're here criticising my art, and I'm defending it. You've paid 11 quid. You don't have the right to criticise me in an aggressive, bullying manner, and me not defend it.
The other thing is, she'd been talking all the way through it. Hadn't she?
Yeah, she had, hadn't she? Yeah. Talking really loudly. And then it was going on, and then the first drunk guy started chipping in, going, "Come on, Ian, you're being really harsh with her." And I said, "Mate, don't you start, because you were a pain in the arse." And then they both started having a go at me, and the people we were with Dan and his dad, Larry,
so
and they were embarrassed and didn't know where to look. And I just went, "Catherine, we're going."
It was like something out of a sitcom.
We went.
Goodbye. But it takes the joy out of it. And the thing is, we realise that we keep you company and we like chatting to you and stuff, but don't take the piss. You know.
Mal's not got it. Mal says, "Ian, wearing a poppy at one time in the year is a symbol that should instill reflection and remembrance within the wearer of the absolute horror, folly and sacrifice of war, so that we should all take time to think, understand and not go to that level again. It should give us all perspective of the hatred and horrors of man." Well, no, I don't believe that anything should give us all ... Everyone is completely different. And do you know what? I don't need to wear a little flower to know that war sucks. I don't need that. I remember that war sucks. I know it.
And if it means I'm going to be part of that gang that's putting pressure on other people, which I don't think is the spirit of the poppy at all, then I can understand why people don't want to wear it.
I've had a great time blocking and muting people on Twitter today. That really has been wonderful. 03444991000. You can Skype a Late Night Alternative. This is the Late Night Alternative with me, Iain Lee, on Talk Radio with Time to Change. 1 in 4 of us will fight a mental health problem this year. Having a friend in your corner can make all the difference. Go online, type in Time to Change to find out more.
The radio show where the owls are not what they seem.
Do you or have you ever watched Twin Peaks?
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee.
We could be dreaming and meeting each other in our dreams.
On Talk Radio.
Just as a PS to that story, you can call in at any time, 0344 499 1000. Peter is just tweeting, someone's just pointing me in that direction. Iain Lee suggested just now on Talk Radio that I'd been drinking, but I don't drink. Well, that makes it even worse then, because then there's no excuse for being...
Also, he didn't. I wondered whether it was wine o'clock, because that might explain the persistence.
But this is the thing. This is his, from that earlier, misunderstanding something. And maybe we all do it. I don't know. I'm not speaking specifically about this gentleman anymore. Speaking about other people on Twitter. Because I know that if he thinks I'm speaking specifically about him, he'll tweet even more. But people on Twitter tend to have a thing of misunderstanding something and then holding on to that misunderstanding and not being shaken from it, even when it's pointed out. It seems easier for some people, again, not talking about anyone specifically, it seems easier for some people to hang on to the misunderstanding rather than go, oh, is that... Oh, so, do you know what? I totally got that wrong. I'm so sorry. As you were. It's easier for some people to do that, and I feel sorry for those people. But that's the way it go. Whoa, 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 whoa. Phone in, Peter. Phone in. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, you can give us a call. What have we written down here? Oh, this is terrible. Let's look at this. This is terrible. Dick or treat?
Oh, God.
Halloween girl, 5, given a willy-shaped lolly at the door.
Sweet Lord.
A girl aged 5 was given a penis-shaped lolly while trick-or-treating. I wondered where my penis-shaped lollies had gone. She was door-knocking with her older sister. Oh, OK. Well, I wonder when one man gave them a handful of sweets. As they walked away, he called them back and put something else in their bucket. But they were horrified to find it was the lolly. The sister, 22, said, I was absolutely mortified to see it was a willy lolly from Anne Summers. I turned to see another couple with their little girl leaving his garden and warned them to check their child's bucket due to what he'd given my sister. So he gave it to the older woman. Still not right, still inappropriate in this day and age when everything is inappropriate that is inappropriate, which it should be. And that's still inappropriate to give a 22-year-old woman
that you don't know. Well,
yep.
Yes, of course it is.
Yeah. But it's not
also,
the same story.
What I notice is she didn't say, don't knock on his door, he's a weirdo. She said, check the bucket afterwards.
But they said he never answered. I looked at his house to see his lights were off and he was ignoring his door to any other children who knocked. The other couple were absolutely gobsmacked and warned me to report him. You would be gobsmacked if you tried to suck on this. Police investigated Tuesday's incident in County Durham, but a spokesman said it was an innocent mistake and there was no cause for alarm.
A spokesman for who? The police?
No, Dix. Yeah, spokesman for the old bill.
Right. That's that sorted then.
Yeah, that's that done. I didn't get to go trick-or-treating with the boys this year, so missed that.
No willies for you?
No willies for me, unfortunately. Good evening, Andrew.
Hello, Ian. How are you?
I'm okay, Andrew. How are you?
I'm fine. I was just ringing to ask you... Well, I'm going to pick your brains about something, actually. I think many years ago you were obsessed, as I was, with a certain TV show called Lost.
Yes, I was, yes.
And I think you did some documentary out in Hawaii.
I went to Hawaii twice. I did a series of podcasts, a series of vodcasts, and a few TV programmes, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah,
and
I know,
think
incredible.
Was it linking 2 series together, sort of the 5th or the 6th or something like that?
Oh, God, I don't remember what series. No, I think I went out there for 4 and 6, maybe. I can't remember.
Oh, right, okay. Well, I was just really interested in what you thought about the way the whole thing ended.
It was terrible.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it was terrible. The last series was looking to be exciting when instead of it being flash forwards or flash backwards, it was a flash sideways. But I tell you when I started having doubts was when there was a concert and the members of Drive Shaft were playing with the physicist that was also a jazz pianist. That's when I started going, this is either genius or it's going to potentially be the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Were they called Drive Shaft, the band? They were, weren't they?
Yeah, it was the guy from The Hobbit, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then the last 20 minutes when they're in a multi-denominational church. Oh, that reminds me. And it turns out they were in limbo and they'd been there for about 500 years and they were just waiting for Jack to accept that he was dead, and then they went off to heaven. I thought, oh, what a load of old balls.
Because at the end of it, I just remember thinking, well, I'm not going to bother asking my mates what they thought. I thought, I need to find out what Iain thought.
Yeah, rubbish. Well, it was years ago, and it was utter guff. What did you think to the ending then, Andrew?
Well, I was very confused about the whole thing, and I was willing myself to like it, to want to understand it. But I didn't. I just couldn't get along with it. And I felt like I wasted the last 6 years of my entire life.
Yeah, I know what you mean, and it's put me off. That and Fringe and Battlestar Galactica has put me off. I won't watch another American long-running serial anymore because I know that they will let me down at the end.
Yeah, is it just the fact that they're making it up as they go along?
Yeah.
They're trying to desperately...
They were with that. They were with Lost. Do you remember those? Do you remember they put that series 3 or something? I get a little bit hazy on this series.
Yeah.
But they introduced two new characters, right, that were also lost on the island. That wonderful woman, blonde woman with the teeth, and her boyfriend.
Oh, yeah, Juliet or Julianne?
No, not Juliet, because she was the doctor that went over there. There were 2 people that had crashed on the plane that we'd never seen before.
Oh, yeah.
And they were slowly introduced. And there was such a backlash from the fans. We don't want these characters. They're not part of the show. That they killed them off. And they killed them off as a direct result of the fans' backlash. And I thought, right, so hang on, if they're writing this series as they're going along, depending on what the fans are saying online, then Damon and Carlton, you're a little bit dodgy Bodsky.
Yeah. Did you ever meet those, Iain? Did you meet those guys?
Which guys?
The creators of it.
Yeah, I think I met Damon and Carlton, and I got to hang out with the director, whose name was Jack Bender.
He was a Bender.
Yeah, I got on really well with Jack Bender. Actually, Jack Bender was going to put me in an episode of Lost as an extra, and I had the costume.
I thought you were.
No, I wasn't. Right at the last minute. Right at the last minute, someone from the union said, "Yeah, he's taking an American's job, so he can't have it." All I was going to do was push a bicycle in the background, and they wouldn't let me do it.
Yeah, because that might have changed the entire course of the show.
Couldn't it? Wouldn't it have just done that? Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that, Andrew.
Anyway, I just thought I'd lighten the mood, Iain.
Well, now you're in the... And every now and then I think, and here's something, a big thing. About 6 months ago, I had all the DVDs, all the box sets. I took them to Oxfam and handed them back. And every now and then I think, I'd like to watch it again, but I can't face it.
That's a huge commitment.
Yeah, I cannot face it. I just can't face it, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Well, anyway, listen, really good to speak to you.
Thank you, mate.
I think you're a legend.
Cheers, my dears. Up your bum. Up your bum. There we go. 03444991000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. I did enjoy Lost, but the end.
Yeah, but you don't want to do that to yourself again.
No.
I gave up after about the second series. Thought, what? Really? Another one?
Shut up. You gave up when it went to Sky. You were a lightweight. You weren't committed to it. I stuck with it on Sky. There we go. 0344 499 1000. I feel that we've started with such vim and vigour. The first hour and a half was thrusting and passionate. Now I feel really bloated and really sweaty and really tired and really... I've got another hour.
I wonder whether this decaf is bad for us.
Ooh, what makes you say that?
Because it's making me feel bloated and... bleh. I wondered what, because I thought it was milk at first, but I don't know. I think it might be decaf. Let me check it out.
Jamie has tweeted us. That reminds me, I found a bag of Willy Mints in the car park at work the other week. And there they are, little Willy Mints.
Who buys those?
That was my nickname at school, by the way. People are asking where they can get tickets for the... Rabbit Hole show in London. If you go to ticketsource.co.uk/Iain-Lee, ticketsource.co.uk/Iain-Lee, then you can get tickets. April the 1st, guys. April the 1st. Turns out it's Easter. Hope that doesn't interfere with your religious studies.
All the eggs are gone by midday. Come on.
Have a nice roast. Come and sit in front of the Rabbit Hole. Have a beer. Relax. Relaxez-vous, s'il vous plaît.
Don't
Chill
be
out.
rude.
Don't be rude.
And we'll have a nice time.
Chill out. We'll have a little bit of fun. We've only got a minute and a half till 12 o'clock, so I don't really want to start...
Well, I'm just looking up. Even decaf coffee can cause indigestion.
What the
Apparently,
heck?
gastroenteritis people say it's an acidic drink, whether it's got caffeine in it or not, and can irritate the lining of your stomach. So maybe that's the problem.
Someone's telling me that Duncan Bannatyne and Alan Sugar are having a fight on Twitter.
Oh.
Bannatyne. Let's have a little look at that. Are you aware of the Twitter fight between Lord Sugars and Duncan Valentine? Here we go. What's going on here? All right, hang on a second. It does look good. Right, where does it start? Oh, it does look good.
I mean, both of those men are prone to quite a lot of willy waving. I
love Duncan Bannatyne. I've interviewed him a couple of times. Such a nice bloke. Well, hang on, Mr. Clean and Green. I don't know if this is connected, but Mr. Clean and Green has tweeted Duncan Bannatyne. Do Bentley do electric? I have no idea, said Duncan. I don't own one. Perhaps you can ask your Bentley dealership if you're concerned. And then Mr. Clean and Green has replied, I can't stand arse lickers. And Duncan has replied, well, you escalated a polite conversation into disgusting and filthy language very quickly there, Mr. Clean and Green. Mr. Clean and Green then replies, sorry, and Duncan says, apology accepted. That's not the argument. Can someone send me where the argument starts between Lord Sugar and Duncan Bannatyne, please? 0344 499 1000. You can Skype Late Night Alternative. My name is Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
Talk Radio.
I'm trying to find the start of this. I think I found the start, but then I can't find how I can see it all in one easy-to-digest thread. But trust me, we'll have the latest between Duncan Bannatyne and Lord Sugar after the news.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Get an earful of unusual nocturnal emissions with radio's Lord of Misrule, Iain Lee. No relation, thank God.
Unfiltered Night Talk with the original king of unconventional conversation. The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Okay. So, right, hang on a second. Where was the first one?
It was...
it's for Duncan Bannatyne
yeah.
a few days ago. Right, hang on a second. Okay. Hang on a second, let's... Right, so Duncan Bannatyne tweets the other day, at Pride of Britain, the purpose of a celeb here is to let award winners get selfies with you, Lord Sugar. How could you refuse? Then Lord Sugar replies, a few days late, like today, as a Z-list celebrity, you would have only been asked for one selfie. I did 200, had to turn a few away as speaking to Prince William. So shut it. Right? So then Duncan replies, you liar. You were sat alone when the young man asked for a selfie. Right? So now how do I find Lord Sugar's reply? This is what I don't understand. All right, here we go. And then you liar. You were sat alone when the young man asked for a selfie, and it took you 4 days to think up that lie. Then Lord Sugar says, not a lie. Someone pointed out your tweet to me tonight. Shut your mouth, mind your business, dye your hair and get some more Botox.
Wow.
Duncan says, throw as many insults as you like, but you know what you did. Lord Sugar, I certainly know what I did. So does Prince William. Sorry I turned your girlfriend down for a selfie. Didn't want to make you jealous. Duncan, what have you been drinking tonight? Something a bit too strong for you, it appears. Sugar's winning this. In the war of the words, Sugar is winning this. Then someone called Jamie tweets Duncan, do you reckon you could have Lord Sugar in a fight? 2 years your senior, youth on your side? Duncan replies, with one arm tied behind my back.
God.
Mark Boatwright says, Duncan, are you two really comparing dicks over who is the biggest celeb? You were both in the company of heroes, move on. Oh, I've never claimed to be a celeb, let alone a big celeb. I am way down the pecking order in that genre.
And then Shugs puts true.
Is that the end of it now?
So.
Are we done?
Well, of course it won't be the end.
I'm going to stir it up a bit.
Oh, really?
I'm going to tweet. Hey, Duncan.
He destroyed you there.
No, I'm not going to say that. You came across as the gentleman. Is it the right combination of words to stir it up again? You came across as the gentleman I've always thought you to be. Yeah? I've always thought you to be. Shame on at Lord... What's his name? Lord Sugar. There we go. Lord _Sugar.
Oh, man.
Shame on at... there we go. There we go.
Stand back, everyone.
There we go. We've fired that off there. Good evening, Dom.
Iain Lee with velvet in his hands. Where them pigeons are?
There, I've got literally no idea what that means, but congratulations for saying it. Well done, you. Well done, you.
Thank you. Oh, I've had a week.
I know, you told me about it on via the email. You've had a terrible week. One of the most shocking weeks of all time.
Yeah, I've reached the point now, though, where I'm thinking the light at the end of the tunnel isn't a train, but it's...
Oh, no, mate, you can still get... I don't want to worry. It can still get a lot worse.
Oh, obviously, yeah, obviously.
Yeah. It's going to get a lot worse.
Dealing with what I've had to deal with so far, it's... I'm all right, I'm in a good place.
Does that mean you're steaming?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
No, do you know what? That's never been one of my responses.
Do you want to share what's happened, or do you want to keep it private?
Yeah, the second one I can't really go into too much. I had the second consultation today, which doesn't give away too much.
No, but that's a good thing that's happened. No, is that a good thing, or is that the bad thing?
No, well, to be honest, they're neither good nor bad. It's just... The first one was just something that happened.
You told me two things that I interpreted as bad.
Yeah, they're bad on the grand scheme of things.
Yes.
Basically, last Sunday, I got a text of all things to tell me that my dad had died that day. This is a dad that I've not had any contact with for 18, 19 years.
Yeah.
Something like that. Long story that I'm really not going to go into. So I didn't know how to feel, because in some respects he's been dead to me for years, and in other respects, when it's in black and white, it's confusing. This was one of the reasons why I was so keen to make peace with my dad before he died, and I got to him before he got ill, and actually, to the end, we were getting on really well. Because I knew that he'd had a heart attack years before, and I knew that he would die at some point, and I thought I want to get in there and make peace, and I didn't expect it to then turn into a relationship, but it started to. But I thought I want to get in there and make peace, because I don't want him having any hold over me once he's dead, and I don't want all that regret, and I should have said all of the should haves and could haves and stuff. So I made a point of going and calling him out on his behaviour, putting my hands up to my behaviour and making peace, and as it happened, we then actually started getting on all right, and then he got ill and died, bastard. But
So I can imagine that, having not spoken to your old man for nearly 20 years, that must be a weird situation to be in now that he's dead.
Well, absolutely, yeah. I mean, every reason why we haven't been speaking was down to him.
Yeah.
He did things that he shouldn't have done, and that led to, what's the word? The actions have consequences for everybody, not just himself. Yep. So the way I looked at it is I'm 41 now, and, he's 22, 23 when he left my life, and, good riddance. He's always been the parent, I've always been the kid, whether I've been 23, 41, I'm still the kid.
Yeah.
He's still the parent in the relationship, and he should have rectified that and done something about it. So I'm angry more than sad or anything else.
Yeah.
He didn't. He had so little respect for me as a son or as a person that he just couldn't be asked getting in touch and trying to rectify things. Even if I said no, jog on, do on, never want to speak to you again, he never even did that.
My dad tried. Our separation wasn't as long. Well, it was, but it was kind of hit and miss. But he did try and get. He did try and get back in touch occasionally, and I just told him to F off, and eventually he did F off. And the last time I spoke to him before we kind of made peace, I found out he was trying to do something a bit dodgy with my mum's mortgage, and I had to phone up and say, "Mate, just back off. I can see what you're up to. You're not getting any of that money, so jog on, fella." And then that was that. But yes, go on.
Sorry, do you think he was doing that as a way to connect with you?
No, he was doing it as a way to try and get some money.
Right.
He was not entitled to, because he was a dodgepot and he was desperate at that point as well. I later found out. Well, I'm sorry that you didn't get your chance to make peace with him, and I don't mean become friends with him. I mean make peace with your. Here we go. I'm sorry you didn't get the chance to to make peace with your history with him.
Yeah.
While he was alive. There we go.
I'm sorry I didn't get the chance to rebuff him or just have it be my choice to accept him back in my life or to push him away and say never again. Having that option. And I could have got on the phone, I could have found out where he was, I suppose, but I was the kid and he was the adult, and that even in 20s, 30s, 40-year-old, that's still it's still the case.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, that was a bit weird, and then obviously Monday that happened. And I've come to realise that that's an opportunity to actually do something in my life rather than being stuck in the humdrum, ongoing existence that I have been for quite a while. Which is a bit cryptic, but I don't really want to jeopardise it until it's finalised.
Okay. I like it. I like your style.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you the best of luck with it.
Thank you, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow anyway. I need to actually send you a message.
Send me a message. I don't know here's the thing, I don't know if we're going to have time before the show now because they've changed the venue and so we're up in the air. But if we can't do it tomorrow, we'll sort something out. I promise.
Whenever's convenient, mate, honestly.
We will sort it out, I promise. All right, man, I'll speak to you later on.
Brilliant. Cheers, bud.
Ta-ta. He's going to interview me for a podcast and tomorrow might actually now be tricky. Let's go to Paul. Good evening, Paul.
Oh, hi, Ian.
Hello, Paul. What you got for us?
Hello there. Brilliant. Listening to that last call, I'd like to thank you for your show. It's the breadth of the conversations you have on the show is just brilliant. You don't get on any other radio station.
They go all. This is why we call it the late night alternative. The calls do go all over the shop, don't they?
Oh, mate, it's unbelievable. It goes from the ridiculous to the sublime.
I don't know. Can I say something now? And I'm looking to Catherine as the intelligent one.
Yeah.
I don't know what sublime means, and I say from the sublime to the ridiculous, and I don't know. The sublime... Hang on a minute, maybe I do know. The sublime means... It means like everything's okay, doesn't it?
I think it's something more. I think it's higher than that. I think it's spiritual.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
So I'm going to look it up.
Let's look it up, man.
But from the spiritual to the ridiculous.
Yeah, so it goes from divine, almost divine.
No.
Yeah. Look, of high moral, aesthetic, intellectual, or spiritual value.
Oh, I've got an American ska punk band from Long Beach, California.
I mean, either or, mate. Either or.
Okay, fine. Yeah, good. Anyway, I'm glad you're enjoying it, Paul.
I did. To be fair, I was listening to that last call. That was quite moving stuff on there. Brilliant.
Yeah. He's a good lad.
But what I actually wrong about was was really when you were talking about the drugs thing earlier, I just thought it got me thinking about the hypocrisy, really, of people who drink and smoke, but they judge and criticise people's other drug use.
Well, I kind of get it, because other drugs are illegal, and it's just the way it's fallen that certain drugs are illegal and certain drugs are legal, and so they make that quite often those people are making that judgment based on the laws of the land.
Also,
yes,
the illegal drugs, because they are controlled by criminals, have impact further along the chain, if you know what I mean. So it's not just about the end user, it's how it's come to be.
Well,
undoubtedly, yes.
Yeah, I think there's an element of that. But I just think that there's this whole thing around. Oh, I got bored of speaking. I got bored of speaking. Do you ever get that, Paul? You go in somewhere and you say, I've not got the puff to see the end of that thought out.
All the time.
I used to get that a lot when I was stoned all the time. Just couldn't be bothered to finish a train of thought. There is a lot of hypocrisy around it, and but in America, weed is legal now. Up until about 10 years ago, mushrooms were legal here. You could buy them on the high street in Camden.
Mm-hmm.
The guy had a little, and suddenly they made a law that made it illegal. It's like these legal highs. They were legal 3 years ago, and then the next day they weren't legal anymore. It's all arbitrary. It's all.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you look at it, if alcohol wasn't legal, of course it wouldn't be legal now. It's one of the most damaging drugs if people get addicted to it.
Well,
I've seen it with my uncle. He was an alcoholic and in a terrible state. Almost ended up homeless. Sleeping.
But then there will be people who you'll have one person who can smoke a little bit of weed and be fine and go to work, and then you'll have someone who can't stop smoking weed. You can be addicted to all of this stuff.
Well, that's right. I'm an occasional recreational drug user. I would say I probably recreational drugs probably 3 or 4 times a year. I'll do, the cocaine, or have a little bit of ecstasy, something like that. But it'll be 3 or 4 times a year.
How much does ecstasy and cocaine cost these days?
If you buy a bag of MDMA powder, you're probably looking £15-20.
There's nothing,
but for me, it's nothing. But that'll probably last me 6 months.
Wowzers! And cocaine is that still £50 a gram?
Yeah, that's expensive.
It's always been £50 a gram. It's a weird thing, and it's so much money for so little. It's such a mean. God, if you've ever sat opposite someone who's coked up, oh God, it's boring.
Yeah.
Boring.
Definitely agreed. My big drug back in the day was ecstasy. Of course, I was into all the sort of the dance scene and the ecstasy. It was just perfect. The feeling you got when you were out, everybody was on the dance floor and on the ecstasy. You just can't replicate that in normal life.
No, you can't replicate it. You can't. Here's the thing, though. You can. I have found out. Get a high from just like dancing and stuff and having a laugh with your mates. You can get that. The thing that And people go, why do young people take this ecstasy drug? Well, the clue's in the name. It's got that name for a reason. Yeah. The thing the thing that I always struggled with was that horrible chemical come down. You have a few hours of being in a great place, followed by a day of just feeling awful.
Agreed.
Awful.
I absolutely agree. It's when you get back home and what you want to do is just go to sleep and just
you can't.
Go to bed. It won't let you.
And your jaw, look at that gurney.
It's ground, yeah.
Yeah. I have had some great times on drugs, but I look back and I just think, so much money I wasted, and
I know.
I'm so much happier
but
there.
Don't you miss it though sometimes?
Yes, of course I do.
Yeah,
of course I do. Sometimes I really do miss it. Yeah. And I still get euphoric recall. Like if I struggle to listen to dance music, right? I struggle to listen. Sometimes I like listening to Kiss, the radio station, just because sometimes I want a bit of mindless pop. Not very often. I've got it tuned into my car radio, and there have been times when I've listened to it, and you'll know what I'm going to describe here, Paul. Pill. Oh, there you go. There's a Freudian slip. I start to get that little tingle at the back of my neck.
You feel it coming up?
That starts coming up the neck, and I get that just from listening to a bit of music. I think, oh, euphoric recall. Let's put Radio 4 on, because I can't have that feeling. I cannot have that tingle. It's the feeling coming up, that tingle at the back of the neck that just goes up to the head. I can't have it because it's too nice. It's too nice.
Ian, could you not do it occasionally then? Would you, if you started doing, you want it all the time and you'd be addicted,
Here's the thing, right? How am I going to phrase this? In a way that... Okay, right. Towards the end of my using, Paul, I couldn't see what the point... Why would you just take one ecstasy tablet when you could take 10 ecstasy tablets?
Yeah.
That's not an exaggeration. You think, well, why? But hang on, there's 10. Why? If I take 10, that's going to be 10 times better than one. And that's insane thinking. Thinking. I can't see. I'd love to have a beer, but I can't see the point in having a beer. Why would you want one beer? I'd want like 15 beers, and then I'd want some Red Bull and vodkas, and then then I'd want some Coke. I can't see why you would just have a glass of wine. That doesn't make sense to me. So no, I couldn't do it because I would go nuts again.
I suppose you're an addict, aren't you? And essentially, you can't. You can't do any substance.
And I've made peace with that. But every now and then, Christmas is always a bit tricky because pubs look like they're glowing a magical colour at Christmas. They really do. You walk past a pub in a dark street and it's like, it's just this gold light coming out of them, and you think, whoa, there's like beer and vodka and stuff in there. But there's also madness and insanity and piss in the bed and fighting with girlfriends and shouting at bosses and walking out of jobs is in there as well. So I don't think I ever actually did piss in there.
Do you think we should look at legalising other drugs? Given, it's sort of the addiction thing that's banded about.
I don't care. Honestly, I really don't care about legalising drugs. I don't, because it's not going to have any impact on me. But I tell
you think it'd remove it from the criminals, wouldn't it?
The only reason I err on the side of legalising cannabis is because I got to interview Dame somebody. That lady somebody. Can't remember her name. But she's in the House of Lords, and she's in her 60s. Baroness Meacher, I think. Baroness Meacher, right? And she had presided over a really, really long, intensive study by experts on the pros and cons of legalising marijuana, and she sat in her office and explained to me over an hour as to why she thought legalising marijuana was the best of those two options, of keeping it illegal or legalising it. And at the end of that conversation, I thought, she knows her stuff. She's read up on this. She's spoken to experts. This study went on for about 2 or 3 years. She's got all the evidence. She thinks it probably makes sense. Then I'm going to back her.
Sure.
But that's it. You know, I sat with someone who knew all the data for an hour, and she told me.
Baroness Molly Meacher.
Baroness Molly Meacher. What a delightful woman. If you ever get the chance to spend even half an hour in her company, she is funny and she is spot on, and she knew this stuff inside out, and she was quoting all these studies from all around the world, and she said, the evidence to me suggests that we should legalise it. And I went, well, that's good enough for me. That's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Paul, listen, thank you very much for that. 03444991000. I've got to say this. All I'm doing is sharing my experience and my story. I'm not telling you you should. I'm not telling you you shouldn't. It's really up to you guys. If you do, play carefully. You know. This is the Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio. With time to change, 1 in 4 of us will fight a mental health problem this year. Having a mate in your corner can make all the difference. Search Time to Change to find out more.
Neon lit night talk for torch singers, trolley dollies, and train wrecks like me. Never know just where the conversation will take you.
What I'm going to say sounds ridiculous.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
03444991000. If you're watching on Periscope, you'll notice I'm wearing a little badge. This badge says clergy, because
it's official. It's
official, guys. I'm totally up. I got my little package today. I've become a minister. Cloth. So let's see all the goodies we got in here. Right, so we've got some goodies. So I've got a card here the Universal Life Church Ministries credential of ministry. This is to certify that the bearer hereof on this day, the 31st of October in the year 2017, Iain Lee, is ordained by the Universal Life Church Ministries. That's a classy credit card
Can I
style.
have a look?
Yeah, you can. October 31st. This is from America. I got it today. That's incredible service.
Works in mysterious ways.
I've got here, I'm showing this to the guys on Periscope, Universal Life Church Ministries, my certificate, credentials of ministry. This is to certify that Iain Lee, that the bearer hereof has been ordained on this day, the 31st of October, and is officially recognised as a member of the Universal Life Church and has all rights and privileges to perform all duties of the ministry.
You read the back of this?
I've not had a chance to yet.
OK, the last few lines.
Go on.
The Universal Life Church Ministries assumes no responsibility for any actions undertaken by the bearer hereof for any purpose other than for which it's issued. This credential does not certify knowledge of certain beliefs, practices, procedures and or requirements of any particular denominational belief system.
Yep.
There you go.
I've got here two
Congrats.
certificates of marriage. They're classy. Look at that gold stamp on there. That is
Are
classy.
they legal in the UK?
Well, this is... Well, OK.
I think you might have to have a proper
This
one.
is what we need. No. I don't... No, you don't. Here's the thing. You don't. You've just got to... You don't.
Registry office as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not going to do it in a church, am I?
No, what I'm saying is you need a document from the registry office as well.
I've got the document here. I've got a marriage certificate here.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think that's...
Yeah, and then I've got this as well. I don't know what this is. It's got flowers.
It's a flowery one. I don't...
Yeah, no, the thing is... But it is, though. It actually is. And then I've got here a book. Look at this. By the power vested in you. And then the O in you has got all of the religious symbols from, like, the Muslims and all that. And so the power vested in you. How to officiate a wedding. Dedication to you, our ministers. We are so proud and so grateful for the good that you do in the universe every day. Thank you. A note about this book. The Universal Life Church advocates proudly and fiercely that all loving individuals should have the ability to get married. External hierarchical structures should not be permitted undue power over a person's spiritual or personal happiness. This is great. Listen to this. Throughout this guide, we will occasionally make reference to the two individuals involved in the wedding ceremony as the bride and groom. We do this for convenience sake and apologise if it causes any offence. That's great. When the situation demands, we would welcome you to mentally replace bride and or groom with the more appropriate term. That's brilliant. This is... Everyone can get married. You can do same-sex. I can do... pagan marriages, renewal of vows, hand fasting. What's hand?
That's a pagan thing.
Is it? Okay, fine, I can do that. The ceremony, ordination. Now, introduction. As a wedding officiant, you have the privilege of overseeing... I'm genuinely excited by this. We're going to do this, right? I am going to check out the legality. I think you can. I think you have to get them to sign something in the registry office as well.
Yes.
But I think I can marry people.
Well, I can do fancy writing if you want calligraphy on those, like, nice ones.
So what we're going to do, over the weekend, I will check out the legality of it. It talks about it on the website. Perfectly legal in America, right? And if we cannot get this to work in the UK, as long as we've got a job next year, we're looking at going to San Francisco in the second week of April next year, something round about then. So if we can't do it in the UK, we're definitely going to marry some people in San Fran. But, I think you can make this work in Britain. As a wedding officiant, you have the privilege of overseeing the beautiful moment when two hearts join together. Regardless of the form the ceremony takes, the wedding is often one of the most important days in a couple's life. It is an honour to be asked to be a minister, but also places on you the serious responsibility of facilitating a wonderful experience for everyone involved. The goal of this guide is to help you learn more about what you can do before, during and after the wedding ceremony to ensure that the wedding day is a pleasant one for the couple and for the guests. This is absolutely brilliant. State and county laws. Now, this is in America before the ceremony. Ordination. In the United States, most states recognise pastors, priests, clergymen, officiants, ministers, judges and justices of the peace as people who are authorised to solemnise...
No.
Solemnise...
Yes.
a marriage. Each state has unique criteria for who can legally officiate. You should verify the rules within your state before performing any weddings. In most areas of the country, the United States, ministers who are ordained online by the Universal Life Church can perform legally binding weddings. God. This is just the best thing. And you know how much it cost me? It was free. $40 to get the certificates and stuff, but otherwise it was free. Various organisations provide an opportunity for people to become ordained ministers in order to perform weddings, although the Universal Life Church is easily the largest and most widely recognised among these. Okay, so we've done that. If you'd like to do baptisms and funerals, you can. Oi!
Can you marry more than one person at a time, or does it have to be legally?
It's got to be legally.
Right.
Yeah. No,
you can't do like a mass wedding.
No. If you'd like to become ordained to perform, you can go through. Yeah, so I can do baptisms and funerals. In some counties, okay, in America, as the officiant, you need to make sure the wedding ceremony is held in accordance with state and local laws. Okay. Making it legal. Okay, it doesn't say. You've got to look online about doing it abroad. That's the thing. So I will look online. This is going to happen. This is the best. So can you... I'll tell you who we want to get on the show next week. Brother G. Martin Freeman. He's from the Universal Life Church. I want to get this dude on.
Right. Well, I mean, it's your church.
Well, I know, but can you reach out to him? I'll pray, and I'll pray for guidance, and if you could reach out to him.
Have you not got him in a directory or something?
No, Brother G. Martin Freeman.
Yeah.
This fella doesn't look like Martin Freeman. He's black. Martin Freeman's white.
Is it G? Just G?
Letter G. Brother G. Martin Freeman. This is the best thing that could ever happen. Did I do the half-past break? Oh, let's do it now.
Late night conversation worth losing sleep over. The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
This is the Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio with time to change. 1 in 4 of us will fight a mental health problem this year. Having a mate in your corner can make all the difference. Search Time to Change to find out more. Good evening, James.
Hi Ian, you alright?
I'm good, thank you, mate. Looking forward to performing my first wedding.
That'd be exciting. I'd like you to marry me.
I'm hoping you'll mean you've got a partner already.
Well, I think I need to find a woman willing to put up with me first, but then would you marry me?
A woman, you say?
A woman?
Yes, of course, I'd be happy to.
Now you're a clergyman, can you show me your cross?
Get lost!
Good one.
Well done.
Thank you. There we go. That was a nice little scene there. We hadn't rehearsed that. That just happened.
I teed you up.
Yeah.
You took it.
Thank you very much.
Ian, I'm a bubbling mixture of emotions at the moment.
Go on.
Okay, so I'm getting a new car tomorrow.
Ooh.
Not quite in time for Wolverhampton Rabbit Hole, so I'm taking the train to that one.
Okay.
But, so I had to draw out about a grand or so in cash because obviously they're dodge pots and don't want to declare it.
Yes.
So I, over a few credit cards, I went to a few different cash points because it's a bit dodgy in Stratford and I didn't want to be lingering around any single cash point, withdrawing loads of money. So I went to each cash point, quickly jammed it in my wallet.
Yeah.
This was about 5 hours ago or so. So I've only just counted the money. Instead of £20 notes, in one of the cash points, they gave me 50s instead.
Shut the front door!
And if I'd have known at the time and actually counted it, I would have rinsed it.
Well, here's let me pour some a cold glass of urine on your parade. They'll know exactly how much money came out of that machine, I'm afraid, and you'll...
I've got a limit.
So how much did you get out then? So you wanted 250?
My limit's 300.
Yeah.
So I did 300 from each machine, from each card.
Yeah. So how much have you got in 50s?
So 50, about 200 quid, probably about 600 quid.
It's not bad. They'll get you for it. They'll get you for it.
Catch up.
Me and Kath have done enough of these stories to know they'll catch you.
Until then, the drinks are on me.
Hey! I like that. I like that attitude.
He's living for today.
He knows they're going to come and get him, but what the hell? He's going to spaff it all away.
He's like Thelma and Louise.
Isn't it just? 0344 499 1000. Good evening, CJ.
Good evening. Did you notice the vicar costume you can get on that website too?
The what?
You can actually buy the minister's outfit as well.
Oh, you're joking. Well, we're all a go here. This is happening. Well, I'm going to do a wedding. I've got my certificate. I've actually got my certificates, guys. Going to get that framed.
I was going to get my certificate, but they closed my bank card down. So
well, then that's God's will.
Yeah.
God has decreed that you're not right for him. So
I've been blessing people this week. It's been good.
Yeah. Well, look at this. I'm going to read this.
I was going to ring in and talk about previous times where I've rang in drunk and been a
hand fasting is where you you tie your hands together with rope.
That's what fasting means.
No, fasting means not eating.
Isn't the tying the hands together an old marriage ceremony where they tie your hands together with some cloth?
This is tied together with actual rope.
Oh, sounds a bit kinky.
Doesn't it just?
I'm up for that. But,
yes.
I was going to talk about the drinking problems that I used to have.
Oh, you used to have them, did you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, you're cured now?
I've channeled it into different things, writing and creative processes.
I'm glad you're cured.
And what I try to do now, instead of going out getting drunk, I'll treat myself to something like a new Dalek, because I collect Daleks.
Right.
And the next step of this is I've started collecting penises from around the world as well.
Sorry?
You know when you go into shops on holiday and you see like a souvenir penis hanging there?
Not really, no. I don't tend not to go into penis souvenir shops, no.
All right, well, it's like penis key whistles, key rings, whistles, lollipops, and I've now got a sort of international dick collection, and I found that helps, really.
Well, that's great news.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I give you a penis tip?
Yeah, yes, you can.
Go to Taormina in Italy, because they've got a huge thing. It's like an old folk custom where they kind of fetishise images of penises, and it's...
Yes, I've seen the pictures. It's fantastic.
All over you. My parents weren't there on holiday and were delighted to find that there was a running theme.
Oh, wow, fantastic.
Yeah. So there's a tip for you if anyone is fond of that kind of stuff. It certainly is.
Well, lovely big tip.
Good luck with your dick collection.
Thank you, Iain.
There we go. That's I don't really know how to react to that.
People cope the way they cope, I guess.
Whatever gets you through the night, it's all right. You know who sang that song? It's all right.
You?
John Lennon. John Lennon's only, I think, well, maybe Imagine went to number one. I don't think Imagine went to number one in the States. I believe John Lennon's only US number one was Whatever Gets You Through the Night. Do you know that song?
Yeah, I think I do.
It's an okay song, but it's him and Elton John, basically. It's an okay song, but it's not exactly... Do
you know what I think would make it better?
Yeah.
Nicky Knowles.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Duetting with... Who else has got an album out at the moment? Apart from
Manford.
Manford, yeah. That would sound good, wouldn't it?
Listen, I mean, this is oh, it's an advert for, here we go. This isn't Whatever Gets You Through the Night.
No.
What is this? Oh, here we go. There we go.
Oh.
This is such a weird song. It's only American number one.
Oh.
Funky Lennon.
Disco.
Whatever gets you through the night.
It's all right. It's all right.
Get your money all you like.
It's all right. It's all right.
Don't need a song.
I mean, it's not exactly classic.
That
Lennon.
reminds me.
Yes?
I've not heard anything from Yoko.
This is the Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio with Time to Change.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
I want to see his dick now. Sorry. You join us as we're watching a video about a man who's had a 3-foot penis and balls that dragged along the floor. And, I mean, blimey, he's having a look. Look, he can't believe it. Didn't smile when he saw it. It really is the most... I'll tweet it, but...
It's NSFW.
Yeah, I think it's unfair. They showed us his penis before. They didn't show it afterwards. And his balls are so big and low. It looks like a bum from behind. Another bum. They've pixelated the pictures. You've got to watch the video of that. That is bloody. Why would Hannah tell me about that? Why did you tweet me that, Hannah? That's disgusting. I mean, admittedly, she didn't tweet me the video. I had to go searching for it. But there's the video, guy. If you guys want to look at Sam. You've never seen him move so quickly to a computer. Look. Evening, Kyle.
Evening, boss. You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. No one's listening to us, Kyle. They're all watching that video.
Well, I was going to say, how does it work? Is it like a space opera? How does it work?
It's very much like a space opera, yes.
It's massive. I mean, we think it's tumorous of some kind. But it's not because it's still penis and bollock shaped. Isn't it? It's still.
He does say in a part of it that it started out as the size of a fist, and it looks like.
But yeah,
it's like an elephant's leg.
Hang on a second. Let's hang on a second. This is from the Daily Mirror website. Let's have a little listen. Hang on. Here we go. There we go. See what it says. Warning: contains footage some viewers. Well, why we go? Hang on. I've got
full footage.
Here we go. Hang on. Here we go. Right. Contains footage some viewers may find upsetting. I don't even know what's wrong. If it's been caused by a human hand, then I can only trust in God. Yes, I can only take it to God. Well, he's taking it to a doctor, so... Look at the state of that! Jeez, how can he stand up?
Boris, known as Florence, has had a growth on his genitals for the last 10 years.
Oh, jeez!
His penis is more than 10 times the size of an average man's, and now it's so large that he struggles even to walk.
The thing started very small, very small. It started like a boil. It was the size of this fist.
It's quite big.
It started like the size of this fist. The swelling. I tried herbal medicine. It didn't work. It just continued to grow bigger and bigger. Blimey! Mate, keep your pants on!
In the beginning, doctors tried to remove the growth, but after an initial operation, it continued to grow.
Wow.
To make it harder, he lost both his parents at a young age and was unable to afford to go back for further help.
Oh, I see, yeah.
He now lives with his elderly grandmother and brother, unable to find a normal job.
Well, what job does he do then? But also, I mean, if you were writing the script, you wouldn't put the phrase in to make it harder. Really. Yeah. You just wouldn't. It really is. Hang on a minute, Carl. Just stay there. I just want to call someone. Hang on. Just calling someone. Hang on a minute. Someone's not enjoying the show, and I just wonder what we can do to make the show a little bit better for them.
Oh dear.
Have you got the phone number of our friend who used to email us?
I may have.
See if you got it.
447.
There we go. Okay, fine. I don't want to...
4.
They texted in saying he's morning your drink and drug days, more depression talk and an unhealthy obsession with cocks. Great show, Ian. Great show.
Oh, that's got a tone of voice that we recognise.
Let's compare numbers, shall we? Let's compare numbers. Seriously. It wasn't morning my drink and drug days, was affectionately looking back.
Just go and check our record.
Thank you very much indeed. Anyway, Carl.
It's a bit sad, but I don't know whether you would like this and whether you can think of a comparable example. I was trying to find, I was trying to play Benny and the Jets earlier tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And I was thinking, and I can only find a live version.
Yeah.
And then when I dug into it, I didn't realise the studio version is the live version.
Sorry?
So the studio version, they recorded,
yes,
that was on the Goodbye Yellow Brick Road album.
Right.
Yeah, they totally mocked it up and put loads of reverb on it, and I feel really sad now telling you this. I'm really sorry.
Well, hang on. Are you saying that the studio version is live, or the live version is in the studio? I'm confused.
No, sorry. The version everybody knows of Benny and the Jets
is live.
No, it was recorded in the studio, and then they put loads of sound effects on it
to make it sound live.
Yeah. And I was trying to think, is there anybody else? I know the Beatles used to redub loads of stuff, as you would know.
Yes.
But I just found that really weird. I was like, what a bizarre, odd... That's why I can never find, like, a clean studio edit of the song.
Well, I don't... What's your question, caller? What is your question, caller?
Sorry, no, I was just wondering. So is that because, obviously, you're into music and the Monkeys and this, that and the other. But of other people, I know that the Stones did a similar thing where they did a live album and pretended it. They did a studio album and pretended it was live.
There's a Tom Jones album live in Las Vegas that's fake. Here's the thing though, most live albums are most of it's re-recorded in the studio.
Well, because the one that has stuck in my head, and hence the reason ringing. Well, not the reason, but anyway, it stuck in my head. The Wings Over America. A lot of that was recorded in the studio.
Oh yeah, that's all fake. They're definitely that's all fake.
Yeah, but I just thought, what a really bizarre thing to do for Benny and the Jets. I was like, what?
What's your question, caller?
Well, I just wondered what your view was, Bob, to be honest.
I'm not really a massive Elton John fan, is my view.
Well, no, it's strange, because I wasn't, but I thought, I like that, I like Pinball Wizard, but I thought, but it was only because I thought, I'll play this for a bit of a change tonight.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll get the studio version. And it's only when, when you think back, you think, hang on, I don't think I've ever had a non-live version of it. And I did a bit of research.
I know, I know, this is the fourth time, Kyle. You've told us this. Oh, my brain is so frazzled. Oh, God. So, what's your question, caller?
The question is about live albums and are they all fake? And then you're going to say yes.
Most of them are, yeah. Most of them are fake. Most of them are fake. Some of them are recorded. They record a concert and then they go back and they strip all the tracks back and they'll kind of redo a lot of the tracks. The vocals will often be completely redone on live albums. The Beach Boys in concert, the 1960s album is fake. Slade, Kiss are live. The first all their live albums are pretty much redone in the studio. Some albums will even take screams from different artists' live records and superimpose those over the top.
Well, that was a bizarre thing because the the Elton John one, weirdly was using a bit of crowd noise from the Jimi Hendrix gig in '69. I was like, what?
But that's what they do.
Well, you've answered that, and thanks very much.
Thanks very much indeed, Carl. There we go. Let's just try this guy one more time. I still don't quite know what Kyle's question was there.
No, but there's a lot of words.
There's a lot of words, and do you know what? It's what we needed at the time. More depression talk. Always happy to have depression talk on the show. I don't get why that is a criticism. Morning, your drink and drug days, more depression talk, and an unhealthy obsession with cocks. Great show, Ian. Great show. Now they're saying that is in a negative way.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, that does sound that actually sounds like a brilliant show.
It does, but he also doesn't sound like a completely happy man, does he?
No, morning, your drink and drug. If I saw a listing right on tonight's show, the host will be morning is drink and drugs days, more depression talk, and an unhealthy obsession with cocks from 10. I would think, that I don't get the criticism, and it was interesting when I retweeted Matt Haig's tweet. It was obvious. It became obvious to me quite quickly that people were seeing two different tweets, and we've only got a minute and a half left to kind of deal with this huge concept, and it came down a lot to prejudice and bias, and perhaps I had to accept that perhaps my prejudice and bias was seeing a different tweet to the one that was sent, but half of the people were seeing this tweet about someone choosing not to wear the poppy because of an ethical decision, and other people were seeing a tweet attacking those who wear the poppy because they are unethical. And I was certainly on the former side. I'm not saying that was necessarily correct, but it was interesting how I could see a Twitter division happening live in front of my eyes and be able to take a step back far enough to realise that was what was going on. On that bombshell. What a convoluted way to end this show. This has been the Late Night Alternative with me, Iain Lee, on Talk Radio with Time to Change. 1 in 4 of us will fight a mental health problem this year. Having a mate in your corner can make all the difference. Search Time to Change to find out more. If you're coming to see us at Wolverhampton tomorrow, the show starts at 7, finishes at 9. We'll be downstairs at 9:10 for pictures. We are leaving at 10:15. I tell you now because it's a long old trek. If you're not coming, you'll be able to watch us on Periscope, and we will be taking your calls tomorrow evening between 7 and 9. It's a different phone number. Follow at Iain Lee on Twitter or go to facebook.com/Iain Lee to find out the details. From me, from Catherine, from Sam, good night.